Let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safeway Liquid Beer Release podcast.
We ride again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
Seconds remaining. 4, 3, 2, 1. It is all over. The Edmonton Oilers have won the Stanley Cup.
For the win. Draisaitl centers McDavid tips it home. Game over.
Gretzky going in. Suter trying to get back.
It's the 6 o'clock and check-in. Come on, let's go.
And he scores. Leon Draisaitl.
It's the AM nasty big fellow.
And there it is. Seth Hyman.
It's the cool bed, red hot Nielson Show. Let's go.
The Oilers pouring it on. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Smith from behind the net. A wraparound. Horton scores. Edmonton wins.
Everybody tune in, even my wife.
On the fly.
And those Macamala intros are cutting like a knife.
That is an absolutely pitifully bad call.
Hey, it's Mitch texting in. He's your dealer for life.
It is Marchand scores.
It's like a 6 o'clock and lager with some sirloin.
McDavid, beautiful move. In on the box. What can you say?
Let's see the Curry score.
Here they come, the Oilers. It's dropped back. Buchberger shoots, scores! Buchberger! The Oilers win it!
The Oilers have won the Stanley Cup.
There you have it. Thank you very much, Jay. 6:04. You are tuned into the Nielson Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, the iHeart, TuneIn radio apps, and as always, on YouTube. Coming to you live from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studios, where you can get the crispy chicken buffalo wrap today in all its glory. Perhaps that's your go-to for this weekend, or as we approach this weekend, because it's getting hot, a lot of things going on, and we are now heading down the hill. We said Wednesday, you're kind of sitting at the top of the hill, a bit of a crest. Now we're going down, breaks off, right down towards the weekend. Lieutenant Eric Jason Milne in for Dustin Nielsen this morning. YouTube Trev, of course, behind the monitors. A great show, a fun show, a bit of a different show as Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals looms large Saturday. Of course, we'll get you set for that leading up. But it is kickoff to the Canadian Football League season tonight from Winnipeg, Bombers and Alouettes. And we will dive into the Canadian Football League this morning with a couple of guests. But also, your thoughts, your opinions, your comments on the Stanley Cup Finals. 780-218-9999. It is the Paris Jewelers inbox. It's the inbox. It's the ring box. It's the Paris Jewelers bling box.
It's the ring box. It's the bling box. It's the Paris Jewelers inbox. And they got lots of fancy shiny things. Look at this, look at that. Not just for the ladies. They got jewelry for men too. The ring box, the bling box, the Paris Jewelers inbox.
Family owned and operated, 22 stores in 4 provinces across the nation, or you can shop from the comfort of your own home online at www.parisjewelers.com. The Oilers are in the Stanley Cup Final. The Elks kick off their season at home this Saturday as well. Perhaps if you're looking to pop a certain question or do something like that, Paris Jewelers is the place to go. They will hook you up and get you what you need to make that question all the more memorable. Nasty chat is going on. Love to see it. Once again, that Paris Jewelers inbox. Best text today will get you $20 to A&W. The Whistle Dog is back. Jay Milne's got a keen eye on the inbox, and it's a little more tough maybe to get that $20 from A&W. He does have high standards, but I think there's multiple routes that we could probably take this thing today to get you $20 to A&W in your hand and walking out of here happy. Jay, we got a lot of things to get to. It's a different show. Obviously, the football will take a bit of a precedence as well as the Stanley Cup, but your shirt's on. Our pants, though, are off this morning, as I think a lot of listeners and viewers maybe don't know. Yesterday it was the tarps. Today it's the pants. How you feeling? It's all good, hey? Since yesterday, shirts off. Now we're back. feeling good. I think we should do that every time we kind of
Yeah, we just go back and forth and decide.
an honest assessment of each other, and then we carry forth. Right?
I mean, boxers are on, guys. Let's not get carried away here, but no, it's a little breezy. I actually don't mind it.
It's not
this
bad,
early in the morning, having a nice hot beverage, having your legs nice and cool.
Wakes you up from beneath.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like taking a cold plunge, but
Yeah.
maybe halfway there. So we will take your thoughts once again, 780-218-9999. Great show. Again, we kind of, our friends, our dear friends at the Italian Center, we love you. But since the shirts went off yesterday during that opening hour, we kind of got a little carried away, as did the listeners and viewers. So we'll double up with a that's good coming up here in about 10 minutes or so, to which we will go a little Canadian Football League with that's good for the Italian Center shop. Weekly rankings of power as well. That usually comes on a Wednesday. Packed show yesterday, so we moved it to this morning, 6:40-ish. And we actually kind of went through the exercise on the program yesterday in flashing, not bashing, and that type of angle. What was it? The rock hard for Bouchard, etc., etc., etc. If you have any more of those that you'd like to get in, please attach.
That's
your
one of
name.
my favorite.
Yeah, that's a
Rock hard for Bouchard.
Would that be your top three? Maybe number one. We don't get.
I guess we'll find out in the weekly rankings.
Remember, flash, don't bash. That's kind of the motto. Put it on the shirt. Put it on a billboard. Little love. If you're feeling a little hot, strip down. Why fight, right?
Yeah,
as we illustrated yesterday, it's nice to kind of get the clothes off. You get a little cool down, and the tempers go down as well. So weekly rankings of power on the way for the Ranch Golf and Country Club. That'll be around 6:40. So if you got any other names, show your knob for knob lock or whatever the case is, text them in 780-218-9999. Hey, it's the 6 o'clock hour, so we can get a little PG-13 as we normally like to do. Luke Gazdick will not be joining us this morning. He's tied up. Dave Naylor, CFL and TSN, the Nail Gun. We love him. He'll be on via video, I hope, because it's always an adventure with old Dave Naylor walking around somewhere. He will be in the country covering week one, which kicks off tonight, but Naylor's always a bit of an interesting guy in his journeys, so we'll appreciate his thoughts on the league as a whole, focus in on a little more of Elks as well as they kick off the season at home to the Rough Riders on Saturday. But a Grey Cup rematch tonight from Winnipeg between the Bombers and Alouettes. Your next chance to qualify for the $100,000 hole-in-one contest, brought to you by Golf Town, and that'll be happening out at the Ranch Golf and Country Club as well. Your next chance to qualify, plus we'll be calling somebody that qualified yesterday. So if you did get in on this show, the Nielson Show, hang out, lock shop, anything else throughout the day, be by your phone just after Dave Naylor. We'll be giving a lucky contestant a call, and you'll be next up in the $100,000 swing to win contest. Jay has got a cool bet hotline of the day as well, locked and loaded, ready to go. So follow him to the bank. Also, you got in on the action early before anybody else on the Elks. What was it, 6.5? Hey, for the W's this season.
Yeah, oh yeah, riding hard on that.
It moved.
The line moved,
as they say.
Well, the 6.5 is still in place, but your odds changed. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you don't get as much return. But I would hammer that. That's going 8 minimum.
Yeah, I mean, you're good for a few more. We kind of went over last year's schedule and seeing with the quarterback switch, you'd think that'd be the case. I got beef coming up as well just after that, and that hurts. For SBLLP, we'll round out hour number 2. Kind of easy trivia, 3 questions too many. We got Glen Suitor as well, Dusty's best buddy, best CFL friend. We'll quiz Glen on if Dustin's mentioned any backyard barbecues on the docket this summer at Casa Nielsen, as Glen's took him out, cooked him, surf, turf, all the rest.
Well, it should be reciprocated then.
It should be. It should be. We'll see if Glen's gotten any invites as of yet. He'll join us around 8:15, 8:20 this morning. We'll then get into the fan zone to wrap the show, and I know a lot of you, by that time, will have a lot of hockey questions, comments you'd like to get through, so we'll answer your texts and nasty messages through the nasty chat in the fan zone to kind of wrap up the show leading to the wrap for William Huff. So, bit of a different one today, but that's how we do. There's a lot of things going on right now, and we will give them their time. Of course, Stanley Cup Game 1 looming large, and we'll get to that as well, filling in the cracks and the holes of this Canadian Football League populated show. Last night, I know a lot of people are talking about, and it was kind of funny, the 30 for 30 with the Canucks burning down Vancouver episode of when they were in the Cup Finals against the Bruins there. Did any of you boys catch any of that? Did it entice you at all to watch it? Did you PVR it? Anything such as that?
I did not watch it. I saw the preview for it. I know, is this the one where they had the the couple making out on the road, and it was
that's
like
kind of your cherry on the top of that whole.
yeah.
event.
That was amazing. But I it'll be PVR'd. I PVR every 30 for 30, but my house is in shambles right now, and there's just too much soccer going on last night for me to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Earmuffs, people. And you got a send-off going down Friday. You've got a lot of
Huge send-off.
We're talking about the sports world. Your personal world.
Huge, yeah. My personal world's going
Category
to blow
5.
up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me. That's tomorrow.
But you didn't. I personally had no interest in watching that at all. Trev, you were out last night. You're at home.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of mad at. This is the first I've heard of it.
Perfect.
I didn't know this was going to be a thing. So I probably would have watched it if I would have known that it was on.
Because were you watching while it happened at the time? Like you would have been,
I was in grade 7.
So you were
I remember
aware.
it. Yeah, I remember it very well. At the time, I'm a kid. I kind of was just like, it's kind of neat. That was, that's kid, right? You're not thinking like, and obviously now I'm like, what a bunch of dummies. Like that's so stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the time I'm like, wow, like this is crazy. Like it was just so new to me. It was like a video game.
Well, that was like next level. I mean, when the Oilers went on that run in 06.
Yeah.
I mean, I was on White Ave.
Burning pallets.
And no, I was just.
I saw you on one of the videos. I'm joking.
You want to be there to see, what's going down.
Yeah.
And like the craziest stuff that happened would be people were up like light standards and light poles but in general it was pretty casual. I mean the police weren't doing anything that you could have a 6-pack in your hand and you're gonna walk right by them. So and that's kind of the decision you have to make is how aggressive do you want to be. But it was compared to what happened in Vancouver, this was child's play. I mean those and I don't get that. I don't get the rioting in the streets. It's just such an oxymoron when you're I get you're choked that your team lost, so you're going to take it out on your taxes.
I think by that time though it's like mob rule mentality.
I guess.
And you mentioned you're there, you get caught up in things, and people start acting awry. Man, it's the human condition. You get a bunch of us in a place. A condensed place, you sprinkle a little alcohol on top, you give somebody a bad result in terms of who they love, and
go ahead and burn the city
things
down,
pop
guys.
off.
Guess who's going to pay for that?
Things pop off.
You.
Maybe that's why everything's so expensive now.
Your parents.
It went back to 2011. That's why everything's now you're catching up.
You know
There's
what?
inflation from that.
Let's do this. Can I get a conch for a guy cheering from the oil from the hospital? This one's for you, Lee, with an IV.
Hey, I hope you're okay, Lee with an IV. We can change your name officially now, I think. Lee with an IV. Got a nice ring to it. Hopefully it's okay. Yes, Dustin Nielson will have the call tonight in Winnipeg, Alouettes and Blue Bombers, I do believe, as he is working for TSN, calling the CFL throughout the summer, and he will be missing the odd Thursday, Friday, perhaps even a Monday show here or there. So the voice of the CFL and TSN in action, getting in action tonight. It is week 1, and it's a Grey Cup rematch out in Winnipeg, Bombers and Alouettes. 780-218-9999. If you have any conches too, Jay's eager and willing to give you one, like Lee with the IV. Didn't someone get stabbed in 06? Or am I misremembering that? Well, somebody got their digit bitten off last year. I mean, we're not getting
Digit,
on
like
soapbox.
finger?
Yeah, down in the moss pit, somebody bit a finger off or something like that last year. I mean, look, things happen, and with a few social media accounts, you'll see it all, in real time.
Well, and if you're following along in the nasty chat, this one goes out to the loser. I think you need it, bud.
Was he having a rough one?
He's having a rough go. He just misses his pal, Dusty.
Oh, we all do. We all do the
yeah.
loser. Yeah, and it's
We'll
even
get
more
through this
better
together.
No, yeah, and it's when you get two schlubs filling in, it's much easier to miss the guy, right? Like that's what you do. You make him look good, and you miss him more because we're in.
Wow, then when he comes back, it's so much better.
It's just much better.
And I
He's a
don't know
smart
that-
man employing himself at these.
And I don't know that he's hosting or calling the game tonight.
I'm
'Cause
not
I
too-
think he's hosting the Elks dinner.
He's hosting the Elks dinner, and you're quite right. He's in
MCing.
town, and you guys will all be there. You have a table, right?
Yeah, me and YTT are going to light it up.
It's
Probably
gonna
go
be
to bed after 9:30 tonight.
fun. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Dusty was teasing that he kind of wanted to handle this dinner in some sort of roast fashion. I don't know if that's going to be so much to the fore. I love it. I'd like to see you guys or hear you guys, get a few calls from the back table.
Oh well, yeah, we'll be whistling. Take off your shirt.
We'll convince Zach to say something.
Yeah, get Zach
And
to
then
yell.
say, zip
Yeah.
it, Zach.
What do you want Zach to yell this evening at the Elks
Yes,
dinner?
what do you want,
780-218-9999 or the nasty chat. Yeah, that'd be kind of funny. Yeah, can you have... I just... Bob Stauffer's a friend of the show. He joined us once, but I don't know if you can... This is much like the... I don't think a lot of people understand the whole broadcasting and people have jobs for one company and you can't just like, this isn't pro wrestling where you just kind of, run from stable to stable. There's employments and rules and legalities and all that involved. So, yeah, whether it's people calling the playoff games in the hockey or doing the show on here, there's a few rules. So usually we look to current employees and not people from other stations, but that's okay. Somebody complaining the conch volume is too loud. I'll pucker down a little.
Okay,
smaller.
sorry.
on
Well,
that one, I
here,
guess.
let's give it a test because Jimbo's in on the Paris Jewelers inbox. Can I get a conch for my wife, who has just learned she's a suitable donor for our neighbor who desperately needs a kidney?
Jesus Christ.
Lots more to do, but things are looking good.
And Tube Socks back on the Vancouver incident. My mom was at that game 7, and she did say it was very frightening trying to get home from the game. It was bad. It was a bad look. I kind of don't want to talk about Vancouver anymore, though. Am I alone in this?
Nope.
We're
done.
Like, I just don't. It seemed like many moons ago. You've already had a series with the Stars. I think we need to all rinse the Canucks fans online and the trolls and everything. This is exactly what they want. And 30 for 30 with that. I get it's a good timing from the execs, but no, I think henceforth Vancouver free show. Eh? Yeah?
Yes. Let's do
Huzzah,
it.
Hurrah.
Hurrah.
Tony says, I need you guys to quell my fears on the Oilers getting swept. Hardly anyone in media picking McDavid's squad. Are we that hung up again on the media and who they are picking or not picking to win? I thought we kind of...
Well, that didn't really work out that well for the media last round.
Why are we caring what the media say? If we already don't hold the media to any sort of regard... What do we care? Are you going to the Panthers beat writer who was calling McDavid overrated? These are all things. Let them talk. Let them pick against the Oilers.
Who
I've
cares?
said they're better when they're the enemy and the world is against them. McDavid and the team. So I don't know if that quells your fears on the sweeping conversation. I haven't heard any sweeping conversation.
The only sweeping conversation I've heard is from the other side. That what if they go on a heater? It's happened before.
Sure.
Why not?
But I haven't really been hearing a lot of this Panthers stuff, but hopefully that quells you a bit. I don't. American media, Canadian media. What are you looking at there? The real not so slim shady 780-218-9999. I want Zach to do Dusty's elk call as soon as Dusty goes up to the mic. That might be something actually that would be innocent enough that could fly, not get him kicked out of the event.
I do have an elk call at home. I could bring it.
Have you heard Dusty's elk call?
Oh no, is it like handmade?
It's like no, it's like
Homemade.
it's his own thing. I'll get a video of it and send it to you.
I have an actual elk call though. I'll bring
It's
it.
not
bring that.
nearly as majestic as an actual elk.
No.
No, Dusty does his own little thing. I'll show you at a first
Okay,
commercial break we have or a sports update.
But you should bring the.
I will.
More people need to do that at the game.
Yeah.
You need a lot of that.
Oh yeah, why not?
That would be sweet
That's
during
what
a
that's what they're
touchdown.
called. Yeah.
Yeah. Just whip that out.
Get into it.
It's a beautiful sound. It really is. If like
Man, this is great. I love it. The youth of today saying the Elks is a beautiful sound. This is good. Yeah.
if like growing up, every now and then you'd hear it and you're just like, wow, like that's cool. And it just
Powerful animal.
echoes in the mountains
Yeah.
and you're just like, holy crap.
That big bull with the neck.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
coming towards you
And
there.
it's not the sound you'd expect from an elk. Like it's really cool.
But you know when you hear it, it's like trouble. Like that's you. I don't want to be around that thing when it's coming towards.
So these hats, right? The green ones, the Elks colors are on sale now, and yeah, there's been a couple people asking. The only way you can get them is if you directly email Matt Iwanek. So it's Matt@EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Yep, I emailed him yesterday. Still haven't received mine, but I will wait. I mean, it's an in-house thing. He's probably a very busy man. Hoping to have it for the weekend, though. It'd be nice to kind of take that puppy for a walk, especially this weekend. And lots going on this weekend. Just to recap as well, the night it was in the world of sports, the Blue Jays getting back in the win column with a 3-2 victory over the Royals. They'll look for the series split later this morning. First pitch 11:07. Jays will then visit the Oakland Athletics beginning tomorrow for a weekend set. Hey, the finals are here in the NBA. Finally, Mavericks and Celtics game 1 tonight from Boston.
Thank God.
Game 2 will go Sunday from Boston. So they're really stretching this puppy out. Game 3 Wednesday, and game 4 will be a week from tomorrow in Dallas. So the NBA Finals are back. Tipping off tonight from Boston, Celtics and Mavericks. Riverhawks as well with a big win. Out in Ridgefield against the Raptors. They return home 500 now, which is great. Anytime you start a season 6 on the road and you can come home at a split, I think that's pretty cool. So the Hawks will bring a 3-3 record into their home opener against Nanaimo, the Night Owls of Nanaimo. That is tomorrow night down at Remax Field. Pretty pumped about that one. Stingers, of course, off until Sunday. Don't know missing much else here. Of course, the Canadian Grand Prix as well. That's bubbling up. Tim Harane's on the beat. You can follow him online and TSN. He's kind of gotten his fingerprints all over that race. Memorial underway on TSN as well. And, of course, the CFL kickoff to the season is tonight from Winnipeg Bombers and Alouettes. Glen Suitor is on the scene. He'll be joining us in the third hour to touch on this game and the rest from week 1 as the CFL season kicks off. I usually play Trooper around this time. I had been at the old place. I'd have a collection of 5 Trooper songs, which I would cycle through, and it was just a nice way to kick off the CFL season. Or maybe a little April wine as well.
April wine.
Just to sprinkle in. Changing 57, yes. If you are on the YouTube, give us a like, hit the sub. I'm not going to plead and beg for you like Dusty does, but, we took our shirts off yesterday. CFL's back. Give the thumbs up, hit the sub. Do what you got to do. Even if you are listening on one of the iHeart or TuneIn radio apps, just pop over there for a minute or two, hit the like, hit the sub, and you can be back on your way. What's Tom Gazzola been up to when there's no hockey? Well, there is hockey right now. He's been down at the rink. Guys have been talking. There have been press conferences and all the rest. So Tom's our man on the scene. Of course, pre- and post-game as well. And he'll actually be on the sidelines this weekend for the Elks and Rough Riders on Saturday. So Tom's keeping busy as he does. He's got to keep busy living downtown, because if you don't keep busy living downtown, Jay,
you're dying.
You can get into you can get into some sticky situations, right? It's ask
get
I want
busy living or get busy dying.
Yeah. How about those Vancouver Whitecaps? Bones, I don't know if we're going to be going there this morning. George and Morgan chime in. I think the week off between rounds give plenty of time for the high of making it to the final to wear off. Just got to see how that first game plays out. Also, guess which team's got more Canadians. Yeah, I think the Oilers they have their. If you go to the passport wars, they're the ones that win the Canadian thing.
I mean, they have to set that schedule, because, I mean, if the Oilers game went to 7, that wouldn't have ended till what?
Well, it'd be Wednesday.
Tuesday would, and then Wednesday. So today would have been day 1. Like, really. So you have to at some point set a schedule. I don't know what else. It's not like these arenas just sit vacant and empty.
Oh, there's lots of
waiting for NHL Stanley Cup playoffs to come around.
And the whole Dallas question too in there with the Mavericks advancing to the NBA Finals. You've got a lot of things going on.
There's a lot of Eric. There's a lot of balls in the air.
It sure is.
There's a lot of balls under this table too.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And free ball in it this morning, as we said, right? No pants. It's the pantsless show. So at least hit a like on YouTube for that, right? Oilers Panthers though, game 1 of course Saturday. That schedule as well. We do know that, and we can go over that with you. We just went over the NBA one, 4 games in the span of a week. Monday will be game 2 from Sunrise, and that will be another 6 o'clocker. The series will then shift back to Edmonton for games 3 and 4. That will go Thursday and then Saturday. So, again, I think we recapped the schedule earlier in the week. Not bad for having a Thursday-Saturday home game. If it does go, the game 6 from Edmonton will be a Friday. So Thursday, Saturday, and potentially Friday for your home games here. Again, when it's the Stanley Cup, every day is a weekend. But it is nice to kind of fall on those days of the week, specifically for people who, have to travel from elsewhere, or work might be a bit of a pain. So,
yeah, it sets up well for Oilers fans for sure.
Yeah, hopefully the weather can cooperate, and I mean that's all you need. Still a little breezy out today as well, but temperatures rising, so hopefully those can continue into the weekend. 6:25, once again, 780-218-9999 is the Paris Jewelers inbox. Coming in hard after that $20 for text of the day from A&W. Definitely don't want to talk about stupid Kazakhs, RBM says, but I think people are trying to get the message across to not become morons during or after this series. I'm saying exactly that as well. There's just no damn reason. Again, going back to the McDavid video from a few days back, people are people, and people will people. And think that you can control how it's just not. Never happens. You can't. People get excited and people act out in their own ways. The best you can do is PSA this thing to death and say, "Hey, please don't," or "Please try," please. But there's always a couple in the crowd that will go off or didn't hear the message. So, aside from a digit being bitten off last year, or maybe something happening something probably will happen. Hopefully it's not too big. Hopefully people have the right mindset. And hopefully if you do witness something, as I said, if you're down there on the scene and you're seeing something happen, just start taking clothes off, right?
Yeah, it's
just
the greatest way to
off.
diffuse a fight.
People will not look at the fight anymore. The YAG wave cameras will be pointing at the fight. Then they'll point to you.
Pull your pants down.
Just show it off, right? Flash, don't bash. So just do what you can at arm's length, but we can't control a whole fan base here. Right?
Christian August in the nasty chat says you can't spell Panthers without pants.
I like it. Why not?
Why not?
Sorry. Box Pounder doesn't know what's happening in honor of Dusty, and I think that's what the. Yeah, Dusty always used to say what's happening. That was the call in the CFL.
Looks
Maybe
like,
Zach yells that at the supper tonight.
Looks like Low Tide's wife is in the nasty chat as well.
Okay, what TSN Silver can't have Low Tide anymore. Come on, we talking stuff. Edmonton Sports Peak was Low Tide and LT. I can talk Low Tide. I don't need to talk about Low Tide. Low Tide's a good friend. He works on the other stage.
Low Tide's great.
I love doing the show with him in the past. It was some of the best years of my life. We played music, we laughed, we cried. He gifted me a few wax pressings, Rolling Stones, and who was it? I think The Smalls, I think was the other album. No, I love Low Tide. Low Tide's fine. Look, I'll take you behind the green curtain. Most people in the city get along. Like it's it's not really that wrestling vibe that everybody likes to think it is.
I think it's the Anchorman vibe where it's like
people
station
think
v
that it's
station.
and it's all and certainly look, any sort of workplace you get into it with a coworker. Sometimes people patience sometimes wear thin, but at the end of the day, it's. Everybody's on the same page here. No hard feelings with anybody, I don't think. Fish Tank loved the vibes when I produced. Well, thank you. No, again, it was fun, but, we're here now, so that's okay. I wish Low Tide all the best. There's nothing...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what the animosity, but yeah. Staff Tide, I don't care. There's no rankings here. We're not going to get into that. 6:28. Let's break for a sports update. As mentioned, we have some things to take care of here in this opening hour. We'll return with it. That's good. Take a bit of a dive on a bit of a reveal last night going down at the Ice House downtown. And Weekly Rankings of Power brought to you by the Ranch Golf and Country Club, in which you play as well. We're looking for the flash, not bash sayings. Hard for Bouchard. Knob for Knobloch. Etc., etc., etc. Chime in, nasty chat, or via the Paris Jewelers inbox. Might get you the text of the day if you chime in and help us construct this Weekly Rankings of Power. All on the way before Dave Naylor at 7:05. But Jay Milne with a sports update for Green Plan.
The CFL kicks off this season this evening with the tilt between the Blue Bombers and the Alouettes from Winnipeg. Kickoff is at 6:30 on TSN. And calling all fans, join us this Saturday as the Edmonton Elks charge into their historic 75th season against the Saskatchewan Roughriders in their home opener. Witness history in the making at Commonwealth Stadium. Be there to roar with the herd. Tickets available now at goelks.com or on Ticketmaster. The NBA Finals tip off tonight in Boston as the Celtics will take on the Mavericks. Dallas head coach Jason Kidd stated that Luka Doncic has a chance to become the greatest Maverick ever if he wins a championship this season. Tip-off goes at 6:30. In the West Coast League, the Edmonton Riverhawks defeat the mighty Ridgefield Raptors by a score of 10-4 and are now sitting at 3-3 or 500 on the season. And the Blue Jays squeak one out against the Orioles as they drive in the game-winning run in the bottom of the ninth. The third and final game of this set goes this morning from Toronto. And the Canadian men's national team takes on Netherlands today from Rotterdam. The international friendly kicks off at 12:45 local time. This sports update brought to you by Green Plan, providing you with award-winning environmental planning and consulting services. Whether it's municipal, industrial, or residential, plan it right with Green Plan. Visit greenplan.com or give them a call at 780-455-4292.
She bought a car working nights at the mall. TV taught her how to drive it. She bought a car, didn't want wanted to try it. Put the tab on the tongue, put the lights down low, put the phone in the pocket on silent. Baby got a tattoo, snake on her hip, goes down where I haven't seen yet. Baby got a tattoo, snake on her hip goes. I gotta admit that I'm falling in love with the thought of this not lasting. Baby, so bad, made my mood ring break. The boy in the corduroy coat got caught by the cops as he was trying to buy the girls in the back of the truck a little love in the form of a bottle of rye. And all the pretty jean jacket girls gonna cry. All the daddies get called up to drive them. All the pretty mothers gonna wait up all night except the girl with the phone on silent. Baby got a tattoo, snake on her hip, goes down where I haven't seen yet. Baby got a tattoo, snake on her hip goes.
6:32, you're listening to the Nielson Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, the iHeart and TuneIn radio apps, and as well on YouTube where the nasty chat is humming. I did try to tell Dean Belanger to go to hell because he's saying "Let's go blue," and it's all for fun, Dean. You know me, we're just going back and forth, CFL jaw jacking here. But then my Dean go to hell message, there was an error because I think I said hell.
That's a new one because I've definitely seen way worse.
Yeah.
Than hell in the nasty chat.
So Dean, I'm sorry, I didn't actually mean for you to go to hell. I did refresh with a Dean go to heck, so I hope that's more suitable for the nasty chat. I thought it was the nasty chat here. I'm trying to have a little, trying to mix it up a bit, and here I'm getting slapped. 780-218-9999 is the number to text as well if you want to get your voice heard this morning. Please attach a name to your texts as well. Be somebody in the Paris Jewelers inbox. Pat in the county says, tarps off for the nasties. Look, if you're watching or listening, take your shirt off too. Guys, gals, whomever. It's going to get hot. And as I said, peeling off the clothes takes down the temperature a bit. We don't need the anger. We just need the fun here in E-Town. Side Hustle Cole says, you're off air. Now you're back. Love it, Cole. That'll happen in the matter of a minute. C-Cups for the cup that comes in from Vaughn. I don't mind that. To the weekly rankings of power in our little, flash don't bash experiment here. So C-Cups for the cup, don't mind that. We will get into right now, though, that's good. As mentioned, we did get a little carried away during the opening hour yesterday, so we'll double up the Italian Center this morning with a that's good. The Italian Center shop, your place to go for the panino sandwiches, those torpedo buns, the nice provolone cheese, all the rest. And we got a very special that's good this morning, coming local last night. But whole chicken breasts, breaded and seasoned and baked to perfection. Those are the chicken parmesan sandwiches that we had. You can have the meatball sub sandwiches. You can get little take and bake pastas, little lasagnas, little pennes as well. Sausage penne, white lasagnas, that type of thing. Really individual. Toss them in your oven for a couple of minutes. Boom, bam, you got a lunch. Very nice homemade sauces, toppings, dressings, even fresh produce they have at the Italian Center. A bit of all of it. So get on down there. Also a nice place to catch games. Get the viewing area, the cafe. You can get a little wine, a Heineken if you choose, and get them to make one of their famous pies as well. So check out the Italian Center today, perhaps prior to all the madness that will be going on this weekend here in Edmonton. Treat yourself right. Head off to the Italian Center shop. Jason Milne, that's good. I think it's fairly easy last night to go to a specific brand of clothing that was announced downtown.
Well, sure, yeah. The Elks introduced their third jersey, which is getting a lot of, I guess, positive reviews. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's their 75th anniversary season, so they wanted to spice things up a little bit and blend a little bit of the past and current, I guess, Elks theme. Now, I'll just be honest. Do you mind?
Please.
I think this is a way of them trying to say sorry for, the whole thing with the name change and maybe losing some fans, people that are still not back. I know that's a can of worms to open. But
I call it the Chris Presson era.
Well, it says the sleeves feature a logo that's, first from 1949 with a shield reading Edmonton Elks football. Well, no, that's not from 1949. Anyways, above the ribbon is an oil derrick depicting the historic Leduc No. 1 site. So they touch on the oil theme.
We like oil. Gotta like oil.
Yeah, and then they have the Elks horns?
Antlers.
Right. Antler up. So, I mean, do they look cool? Yeah. I mean, the wrench, Tommy Gazzola himself said last night that he figured these had a little bit of a Golden Bears flair to it.
Yep, I can see that.
I mean, anytime that's a comparison, I think that's good because those sell. The colors are there. The colors are rich. The colors are historic in any sport. The flare with the I guess the shoulder area. But yeah, I think it's a little bit of a stretch to say that you're going to your roots and taking pieces from 1949 that, just announce it's a third jersey.
Yeah,
that's it. It's fire. It looks great. Yeah. I don't know that you need to try and tie in the historic aspect of it because nothing about this is historical.
I think every team now, whether they announce the Rough Riders with their obsidian green alternates the other day and kind of going off this screen means that, this screen means that. I think the best example is like an MLS expansion team nowadays will release, this is FC whatever, and this is our club badge. And they'll have the announcement and then the badge is there. And it actually looks on first blush, you're like, oh, well, okay, it's the name. But no, there are 100 lines and points pointing to each and every molecule on this badge saying this molecule means that takes back to the 1800s. That was the time this guy's mom did this. And like every bit and piece on this logo, every word, every lettering, every font means something else aside from the logo. So it's kind of this trend I see in like either refreshing logos and doing a reboot or an expansion logo where we have to point to all these things. The T is crossed like that because of the river system and the thing. And
get off that BS. Like, just give me a jersey and just say it's a third jersey because it's the 75th anniversary.
I don't mind the meaning of it. I like Easter eggs. I like that type of thing. Like FC Edmonton and their badge had the rabbit
It can be
footprints.
easily overdone, though.
It can be. And it's a fine line. And I think I'm getting your point here with the original logo, and they have all the logos up, but they're very small. And
the
I'm trying
only
to look
thing
into
that is representative of old time, what would have been Eskimo football, is the two stripes on the shoulder.
Well, they also use the. They're incorporating the double E. They have the outline of that badge is still the same. Like they're using it, but with, as you said, a refreshed, modern.
Yeah,
it's a meeting of the worlds.
I don't know if I've ever seen a third jersey that I would say is better than their, go-to home and away.
They shouldn't be.
I would never say. I would never say that this would be better than that. But I think, as far as third jerseys go, pretty darn good.
Yeah.
I just don't like the sentiment that was presented.
I understand.
Just give me a jersey that I can look at. Maybe you'll sell some. I don't know. But,
I tell you, I'm liking that patch, though, as its own. If you don't preface it with
right.
Just as its own, the Derek, Edmonton Elks football, the EE with the antlers gracing that, I think it's a pretty sharp look. Edmonton across the front. You mentioned the shoulders. Couple that with the helmet as well, with the differing 75th anniversary logo. Like most uniforms, though, you want to see it out on the grass, right? Out on the pitch, so to say, with the pants and everything incorporated.
Seems like they're trying to get back into incorporating the double E as much as they can.
Yeah, well, that's the name. That's the logo.
I know, but when that first happened, they went away from it. And that, I think they got slapped in the what.
The Chris Presson era. Again, he loved the animal. But I've maintained, too, that if this was an expansion team franchise dropped in here, it's fire, baby. It's fire brand.
Sure. It is, but it's not.
No. Well, it is if it was on its own.
If it was on its own.
Yeah. So this is the meeting of two, and again, the badge on its own, I don't mind, but I do hear your thought.
Yeah,
do you like the solid EE or more of the old? Because they are using that solid blocking, like block letter EE instead of the
tapered. I like the tapered double E myself.
Yeah.
Like that's like that reminds me of Henry Gizmo Williams running down the sideline, kicking off, taking a punt return back with that. Remember, Giz had that over accentuated white face mask that was like the first time Rydell came out with like the plastic face mask, and Giz was rocking that, and that double E on his helmet. That's the double E I like.
I always preferred Bike brand football helmets. Remember Bike, that company? They're just like this big spaceman.
Yeah.
And there's some bad brands like just terrible. I don't know how they
dude.
passed the test to get on the field.
Well, considering the fact that they started out with leather hats.
Well, no, that's and that's why everybody thinks these Gizmodo helmet protectors are funny. It'll be fine. And if once
I would be shocked if you see anybody wearing those to see in a game.
But leather hat people were saying the same thing about the. You know what I'm saying? It's
Oh,
just
yeah,
what's new
It's
is old
a
again, or
shift
old is
for
new,
sure.
and
it's a shift for sure. I mean, you saw that. I mean, I believe it's mandatory now for practice.
yeah. So all in the name of safety and health.
Guardian
that's-
protector lid. If you're wondering what we're talking about, it's a shell that goes on top of your helmet, and it sits, and it's almost like a cocoon over your head that is just an extra layer of protection for the player.
It's like a big old fat layer, hey, over top of the brain, just to kind of keep that. Look, as somebody who suffered concussions from football, and Jason, I don't think I have to. You've probably had your bell rung more times than you can even remember. Head injuries are a thing in that sport, and anything to curb them would be for the best.
Anything you can do to, especially just during practice, where it's
Practice, yeah.
Not that it's any more different than but it is a practice. It's not the same intensity as a game, but you still have to bang and hit and crash. So, yeah, if you're trying to do that and trying to protect the player's safety, I get it.
Looking cool, you're walking to school. I don't need to wear a jacket, and then you get sick.
Yeah.
Is it looking cool sometimes? So they call it hats, harnesses, and bubble domes now. That's, I think, what it is, hey? Hats, harness, bubble dome.
I believe that's it. Yeah, there's YTT's got the third jersey up there. Let us know your thoughts. Like I said, it is reminiscent of something that you'd see from the Golden Bears with that,
Or the Oregon Ducks, if you will.
Possibly.
Well, let's hear from the youth of today, though. Trev, your thoughts on the alternate?
Yeah, I'll be the first to admit I don't know a heck of a whole lot about football, but I feel like I've got a good sense.
Fashion.
And fashion
You
and
do.
design and whatnot, and they look sharp. I think it looks really sick. Green and yellow, obviously complementary colors. I don't mind the stroke on the lettering in the back. I'm curious to see how easy that will be to see. Like when you're it looks good right now, but
You never know until it's
same with
the Oilers' heritage,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
And then they get on the ice.
So yeah, I like it. I was curious about the whole pattern design that they have on the shoulders, and just looking into it now, the shoulder pattern represents the sprawling evergreen forests of northern Alberta and Canada's largest urban park, the River Valley. So a little bit of meaning there, but I kind of get what.
Yeah, save the beat.
Just give us a jersey.
It's like the talus balls, You're like, oh, what are these? Well, it's the cliffside of the river.
Yeah.
It's
Like in 20 years'
it's
time, no
just,
one's going to be like, yeah, and this design represents the trees. It's like, no, it's just but I think it looks sick. Like it does. Like it's really cool. The shoulder patch is pretty well done. I like they got the rig there a little bit in, the antlers and paying homage to, back in the day. So yeah, I think it looks really good. No complaints from me.
Well, and I guess naturally there's a lot of disdain in the nasty chat towards the current Elks.
Oh, there's
product.
disdain towards the CFL.
And,
It's always the thing.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I do think that what's happened with the Elks over the last 3-4 years, I mean, you cannot deny that the name change took people away.
Yeah, but winning helps too. When I moved
But
to
that's what I was-
2010,
that's
all I
what I
heard
was-
was, hey, we
Yeah.
made the playoffs for 20 straight years. You guys are garbage and all this. And then a couple rough seasons, well, where's all that hoopla? It's
Well,
very
Eric,
easy when you're winning. Because the Oilers were the same.
it
We had
is.
people, and I know who you are. You've been texting in for years and years and years. We've seen you. Winning cures all. But when you're not winning during a brand change,
That was the double whammy.
Oh,
yeah, that's
how?
a tough one to overcome. So, hey, I mean, I think this is a year that I strongly believe that the Elks will push for a playoff spot. They'll get over the hump. They'll, and get back to some semblance of what Edmonton football fans have been used to. But yeah, it's been a rough few years for that organization.
And and that happens. Organizations and you have your ups and downs, but I think making that place a fun place to go again and just letting down your hair and having a good time, first off and foremost, will go a long way and just loosening things up. I wanted to get to this one as well for you, Jay. Oil City Dawn. They should incorporate cowboy collars into the third jersey too. Hey, Jay, is that something Is this a Dallas Cowboys shot or something at you, or do you like a collared shirt? Is there something there?
I saw that too. I have no idea what that means.
Okay, that must be some inside joke. Please explain yourself there, Oil City Dawn. It had to have been a Dallas Cowboys shot. I don't know how or why. But,
I'm not a Dallas Cowboys fan.
but you are a Washington fan, right? Like,
Yes.
Is this kind of the...
yeah,
Right.
maybe it's a
Poke you
dig.
here?
Is it just because you're a farmer?
Maybe it's
You
because
live
he
on a
thinks
farm,
my,
maybe that's what I'm.
maybe
thinking.
because he
though.
thinks my take is a bit redneck, right?
Yeah.
They're all pretty bad shots, though.
I mean, none of them hit that
No,
well.
not at
Obviously,
all.
if we're searching
We're
for
explaining
it,
it, exactly.
we're trying to explain it.
Oil City Dawn, you must do better or shut up. The game experience and tailgate fun are more important than the score. No, I mean that if that's where it's at, you're already cooking with the main ingredient. You just need to get the score. I mean, if that's people are already saying that, and I profess going down last season. I mean, that's a party in itself. Down
absolutely.
there for a couple of good hours, 2 or 3.
No, and I mean, who wouldn't want to see this team return to some, their glory? Obviously, as Edmonton sports fans,
Edmonton-based team.
you'd want to see that. Nobody would turn a blind eye. But I honestly, the losing has sucked. It's there's no two ways around it. You can't put that product on the field and expect people after all these changes to just keep giving you their hard-earned money, right?
Martin says, imagine an Easter egg patch of Victor Cree raging in his office at his employees. Yeah, that would be maybe that is factored in somewhere in the new badge there, Martin, and we just didn't see it or it wasn't pointed out. Third jersey looking nice. Kevin from the Bergman Hood. This team needs positive vibes. And that's just it. You can do all these other things, and the tailgate's fine, and the jerseys and the aesthetic, but sports is about winning.
Cowboy collar. That's what he means. Like, you remember like old timey football where you'd have like this huge neck roll around.
Yeah.
That's what cowboy
Okay,
collar.
perfect. Did he get back? Did he explain himself?
I think.
Or is somebody
he
else?
said he
Oil
liked.
City Dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Thanks, Oil City Dawn. We were ripping you there a bit, but you came back.
I thought you meant like a collar, like Eric's collar.
I didn't, and I was like, Dallas Cowboys, Washington Commander. I thought he was like, there's some sort of
That would have been
long-standing
like
bitter
that would have been
rivalry
like
with you.
next level.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
Flash some thigh for dry. I don't think I saw that one yesterday. Boys, if we are ready to proceed into this, I think we can go now. Hey, weekly rankings
why
of
wait?
power. Why wait? That's good for the Italian Center shop, and I think we're all kind of signing off on the alternates, albeit Jay.
Hey, I said I like him.
I know. I'm just giving
I
you
said
the
I like him.
cards goes, who's this negative guy on the air here?
Well, sorry.
Hey, an opinion's an opinion. He's got one. Right?
Yeah, no, it is.
don't-
Unless, Stampeder says that is one ugly ass jersey.
Who is it? Stampede?
Haas says the numbers will be difficult to see from a distance. Dewey says it makes the helmet more helmety.
Sure.
I like that. Yeah, I mean,
It's an alternate jersey.
It's an
And you're
alternate
right,
jersey.
And they should never be better than you've got a bit of a problem there if you're creating the, tail wagging the dog and you're...
I don't know if you could get better than just the
the
classic,
classic.
green and gold Elks jersey, right?
Always about the classics. Weekly Rankings of Power now brought to you by the Ranch Golf and Country Club. Offering premier conditions as usual, top-notch service, unmatched value. Go out there and see Murray McCourt today. The Ranch Golf Club would be a great choice for your first round of the season or next round opening. You can book tee times now. RanchGolf.com. Of course, they'll be the place for our EST golf tournament and also the $100,000 swing to win hole-in-one contest. So we thank Murray for that, and the Ranch, just a great place. I don't golf too much, but I love eating and I love drinking, and the Ranch always takes care of me in those particular departments. Weekly Rankings of Power by community here, as we want your not even help. This is just going to be a fun little exercise here. We are taking suggestions for cup mottos here. Flash, don't bash. That was the original one that kind of Gager and I Monday we kind of developed here, going off the lady, showing her breasts at the game, but then also people getting in fights at the game, old men getting punched in the face, falling down rows, and people in the moss pit doing things. So in the spirit of, it is the finals and the 30 for 30 Canucks thing, and it's a pressure cooker, baby, but we're trying to PSA you here and say, if you're feeling a little hot, if you're feeling a little angry, it's going to be hot temperature-wise, so maybe remove an article of clothing. I don't think you said 06, you could walk around with a six-pack. If you're out publicly, I know public nudity is you'll get a citation or a fine, But during this, what do you think a law enforcement person is going to be more concerned about? Somebody getting in a big brawl and fighting and people doing that, or somebody just walking around with, with their shirt off or an article of clothing on the ground?
Oh, neither. Like, there's no. I mean, unless you're causing bodily harm to someone else, then they would maybe
biting a
step in.
finger off somebody's
taking somebody's
hand.
finger.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be the one. That's a tough situation to be in too for those law enforcement officers that are just there to do their job. Where you draw the line, who you draw it with, I think it's case by case.
Sure.
I mean, if you're acting like a jackass, then yeah,
Yeah.
Get out
but
of
no
there.
violence.
No violence. Who needs
Peace,
that?
not war. Love, not, all that. Don't fight. Just love.
Just flash.
Just
don't
flash.
fight.
Flash, don't bash. So if you have any boobs fly in for Derek Ryan, that comes in from Bones. Was it the fly in because of your airport connection, Bones? I question that, but a good text nonetheless. Keep them coming, 780-218-9999, or in the nasty chat. Did you see the Jasmine text as well?
Oh, I did.
We'll
yeah.
can we just sit on that and we'll get to that. That's actually a good segment just to see canvass the nasties here and
Sure,
see who
sure.
actually got in the lottery there. Nude for Nuge comes in from Box Pounder. That's actually
Skin whistle for Brett Kissel.
we will not.
Nacho
We will
man.
not be having any Kissel talk here. But we put on this. What was it? Skin whistle for
Brett Kissel.
for Brett.
That poor bastard gets so much disdain.
Well, I mean,
his
he'll be
record
okay.
is pretty self-explanatory.
yeah, he'll
Keep him out of the
he'll buy his
stadium.
way out of it. Nude for who is it? Nude for Nuge. That's just the simplistic of that one is.
Booby for Nugie.
Movie. That's not bad. I don't know if I'm coming up with this one or it was said yesterday, but pants down for Connor Brown. Was that one?
Pants down for
Hey.
Connor Brown. Love it. Pants down.
Pants down.
Those guys in that one row wearing that oil worker equipment, they all drop trousers at the same time.
So good.
They all go, pants down for Connor Brown. They all drop them right in the arena there. Pants down for Connor Brown. Love that one. Keep them coming. Nasty chat.
Strip tease for Henrique.
Strip tease for Henrique. Ooh, okay, we're getting this is now we're looking at the logo and saying this is the River Valley and this is the strip tease for Henrique. Something with Rico. We could probably do some of his nickname. Hey Rico. I'll leave it to the listeners and texters. 780-218-9999 or in the YouTube nasty chat. While you're there as well, give us a like, hit the sub. It's 2 weeks. Oh, he wrote mine down. A teeth. Anything with a teeth, that flash deserves zero money fine. Perfection should be shared. Yeah, I don't think the lady got a fine at the game. I don't think that's kind of what we're talking about there. And again, if you're out, I mean, I just think if there's a fight going on and you're standing there with your shirt off.
She's been identified, hey?
Yeah, she's going to be on the Chicklet show or something.
Oh.
Isn't it the thing or something like that? They're going to, they'll do their thing. Coming to a website near you one of these days, I'm sure.
My wife's cousin knows her.
Good. I see. This is what we're talking about. There's got to be that one degree of
Yeah, I know.
separation. Here it is. My wife's cousin knows her.
Yeah.
Perfect. You don't want it any more better than that, actually.
No,
That's
that's
a perfect
perfect.
distance. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, hey, he knows her.
Rub and Tuggy for Nuggy. Tyler and Terwilliger. That's now we're getting into it. Bear it all for Drysdale. That works. Show your rack for Zach. Of course, that could be top of the list. Very easy. Don't get rankled. Put your pants at your ankles. Not even incorporating a player. I don't mind that. Make Dad proud from McLeod. Sure.
Bear it all for Drysdale.
I like that one. That one doesn't. That works. Quick peek for Henrique.
Streak for Henry.
Streak for Henrique. Actually, a lot more better ones.
These are
Henrique
getting
than Rico
rich.
There. Streak for Henrique. I love it. Streak for Henrique. I think this is a great list that we can kind of work from. But again, get them in your memory. If somebody's getting a little obnoxious over the weekend, tap him on the shoulder and say, "Hey, don't fight. Streak for Henrique," and then we'll all have a good time. Let it peek through for Rico. Shockey and St. Albert. I don't know if it makes the cut. Show your dick for Carrick. Look, there are a lot of root vegetables we can pull on this one. Very easy, and that's one of them. And it is the 6 o'clock hour, so those can follow through. Show your dick for Carrick. I mean, that's really good. Streaking for Henrique is better than the other Henrique one. I would agree. Streaking
Hey,
for
Jay,
Henrique. Yeah.
want to slip your cousin my phone number?
Well, let's get into the Jasmine text here really quickly before 7 o'clock here while we have some time. Jasmine chimes in, and this is for you nasties as well listening. Do you guys know anyone who landed Stanley Cup Finals tickets when they went on sale to the public yesterday? Resellers have them listed 3 times the price. Even my rich friends said they will not pay that much. Glue Guy, would you, since you're rich? Haha. So I assume you got a row yesterday, a whole row to just kind of, put your arms out and...
I bought a section.
Little leg room.
I bought a section.
The glue section.
The glue section. No, I could care less. I don't know, but I saw, like some, there was a few people posting online, like the prices for these. And actually, a buddy of mine who we went to high school with,
here we go.
He moved out to Ontario.
Yeah.
He's from here, but now he lives out in Ontario. He's thinking of flying in for Game 6. He's like, do you know, like, where would you suggest to go or get tickets? So I suggested Fan First, right? The ticketing
Yes.
site.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then I said, maybe, go on a couple Facebook pages or whatever that are dedicated to that.
Yeah.
But they're going for like $3-4 grand for a pair.
Yeah, this is a life-defining series here for some people, financially, right?
Like, wow. I don't. Like, chime in if you're buying that ticket.
Do any of you have a ticket? Did any of you get in? I know a guy that we worked with, Shane Clausing, used to be at 1260 there. A great guy. He's out in Saskatoon now, polishing his chops. But he logs onto the computer, as you do, big Oilers fan. And it's like, hey, welcome, congratulations, you're 14,568 in line. And you're like, okay, well, this is over with. I mean, at least if you have a chance, maybe you're, 600 or something like that, you wait or whatever. But when you're into the tens of thousands in the queue, you're done. He didn't even get like a bit of an excitement. It was just a instant depression logging in. But did anybody get in? Did anybody get a ticket? Did you get close? How close did you get? 780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat as well. Barbershop Window says prices will drop huge game day, and there is a patience factor to it as well. But in terms of planning and making, how close do you want to fly to the sun there and then get, left out in the cold and then...
Well, worst case scenario is you go across the street and watch it at the watch party.
Sure.
It's not the end of the world, but yeah, I think the barbershop window take is the best way to go about it. It's just wait there for the prices to hopefully drop, but man, I just don't know. I don't know. Morning, boys. Checking in from Singapore this morning.
Put on the map.
Evening. By my calculation, there should be just enough time for one last conch. Can I get one? Possibly. Haji. Well, Haji, this one's for you.
Haji, are you Sobeys Haji? If you are, please confirm, because it'd be great to. And if not, too, that's fine too. But what a better way to end the 6 o'clock hour than a conch going out to Singapore?
What timing too? Like by the second.
Yeah. Good evening out there in Singapore. We'll put it on the map for you. Dave Naylor coming up just after 7 o'clock. We'll take a swing around the CFL. Things happening both on and off the field when it comes to the league, and of course, a focus on the Elks. He'll be our guest of the day, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. Cool Bet Canada hotline of the day. That'll be courtesy Jason Milne. We will give a next qualifier a shot at the $100,000 hole-in-one swing to win. We will be calling someone as well who qualified yesterday, so be by your phone if indeed you did qualify yesterday. I got beef for Corey the Butcher and Acme Meats, and that hurts. Coming up as well to round out hour number 2. But ahead of Dave Naylor, we'll have a sports update from Jason Milne.
The CFL kicks off the season with a tilt between the Blue Bombers and the Alouettes from Winnipeg. Kickoff is at 6:30 on TSN. And calling all fans, join us this Saturday as the Edmonton Elks charge into their historic 75th season against the Saskatchewan Roughriders in their home opener. Witness history in the making at Commonwealth Stadium. Be there to roar with the herd. Tickets available now at goelks.com or on Ticketmaster. The NBA Finals tip off tonight in Boston as the Celtics will take on the Mavericks. Dallas head coach Jason Kidd stated that if Luka Doncic has the chance to become the greatest Maverick ever if he wins the championship this season. Tip-off goes at 6:30. In the West Coast League, the Edmonton Riverhawks defeated the mighty Ridgefield Raptors by a score of 10-4 and are now sitting at 3-3 on the season. The Blue Jays squeak one out against the Orioles as they drive in the game-winning run in the bottom of the ninth. The third and final game of this set goes this morning from Toronto. And the Canadian men's national team takes on the Netherlands today from Rotterdam. The international friendly kicks off at 12:45 local time. The sports update has been brought to you by the Sports Bar and Lounge at Century Casino on Fort Road. Your home for all of the Oilers playoff action. Don't miss a minute of the Cup run. Catch all the action at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge.
Step closer to the hollow, the devil may care. If I showed you around my heart, would you mind if I shared to show you what's wrong with me? I will not change it. I will wait patiently while you get painted out. Let me into your untainted tribe, to be the one who gets to live a lie. Oh, let me lie with you. I'll be a perfect stranger. I wanna be that stupid boy that you don't talk about. You better believe there's a sharp knife beside my bed. You better believe there's a sharp knife inside my head. And if you would leave, I would take you by the hand. You and I would leave, but it wouldn't be that bad.
7:03, you're tuned into the Nielson Show on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, the iHeart and TuneIn radio apps, and trucking along on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, hit the like, give us a sub, and you can get on your way. If you like to listen to the show, watch it, whatever you do, just pop in on over the YouTube, give it a quick like, subscribe, and be well. Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen Studio. It is hot in here. That's why Jay and I have decided to go pantsless instead of topless as we did yesterday during the 6 o'clock hour. Lieutenant Eric Jason Milne in for Dustin Nielsen, who has been off this week. He will be emceeing the Elks dinner tonight, to which Jason Milne will be in attendance. So we look forward. You'll be joining me again tomorrow morning, to which you can recap the supper and let me know, paraphrase Dusty's words.
Yeah, I can actually give you a full breakdown of the actual meal.
Detailed by details. What the mashed potatoes, why they were placed on that side of the plate, and what it all means to the,
Well, I was saying to YTT, who's going to be there as well, that he's never been to an Elks dinner. I've had the, being with the Golden Bears for a while and helping with the Alumni Association there. I've been to quite a few of these. It's actually like it's a party. Yeah. It's not a stuffy dinner, and it's like a 4 or 5 course meal, course by course.
A prime rib, perhaps? Is that kind of what they?
It's usually a
beef. Yeah,
I think it is elk this year, though.
I was gonna say maybe elk sausage.
That'd be delicious. Why not? There should be more of that sold too at the in the concourse and such like that. I wouldn't mind buying various elk branded and related edibles there.
Few people saying that check fans first. Literally right before the game, you can
fans first
get those tickets like that are dropping, and that is a place you can go get your tickets. It's no fees. It is a Canadian company. It's not something where you're paying in US dollars.
No service fees ever. You can check them out. Fansfirst.ca is where you can go. And they are the sponsors of the Fan Zone, to which we will have a little later on in hour 3. But yes, fansfirst.ca. If you got left out in the cold to yesterday's ticket rush, that might be an avenue for you to get in and experience the Cup fever down at Rogers Place. Fans First, FANSFIRST.ca. On the way, Dave Naylor from TSN should be joining us shortly. We will have the qualifying, and we'll call somebody that qualified yesterday for the $100,000 Swing to Win hole-in-one contest going down at the ranch. So be by your phones for that. Just probably after Dave Naylor. A Cool Bet Canada hotline of the day from Jay Milne. I got beef and that hurts as well to round out the second hour of the show. And as always, your thoughts and concerns, 780-218-9999 is the Paris Jewelers inbox. Morning, gents. Just looking at your merchandise list. However, there's no picture of the hoodies, hats, etc. Are there pictures available? Thank you.
Just sent them the link.
Oh, perfect. Well, there you go. Link to the website, hey? Is that what it is?
Yeah, and then you can click for photos of each individual piece of clothing.
Oh, so they are up there. Just Texter didn't
They're
get in
there.
right?
I don't know. Let's see here. Let's see. All they're showing is the blue hat. So, Mr. Matthew Awanek, if you may, get that green hat up there.
And it looks like the blue hat, just green. And again, it is nice to have the photo, but if you can close your eyes and imagine.
Or if you could look at the screen.
Look at the screen would help. Maybe they don't even come through. I know in most of the photos you've taken of the green hat, it doesn't like translate.
I know,
through the picture.
it is a very, very rich forest green. So unless you're comparing them side by side, it's hard to see.
Yeah. So, Lobbyist LTE, good taste in music. Thank you very much. Whale and the Wolf, one of our EST house bands. I do believe the bassist, Lucas, will be in for the hangout later today.
Is he?
If I'm not mistaken, for a little Canadian Football League talk. So we'll wait on that. We're also awaiting
celebrity
TSN's Dave Naylor, who I'm hoping will join us here. But we will get to your thoughts and concerns as well in the Paris Jewelers inbox if you have any. I haven't seen one person yet say that they got. Did anybody get in? Did anybody get tickets? I mean, I'm not talking about. Maybe you'll get tickets through Fans First later on, but through the queue yesterday, I mean, did you get in? Did you secure one? We'd love to know. Nasty Chatter, Paris Jewelers inbox. Love the public service announcement for fansfirst.ca. When are they going to be a sponsor? They are a sponsor. They sponsor the Fan Zone. It'll be hour number 3 today, to which we take it, the Fan Zone, and it's just texts from fans. So we'll get to that. But yes, fansfirst.ca is where to go if you want to look at getting those Oilers tickets. A little late on the door mill that comes in from Corey B, who graced us with his presence as well yesterday. Nice to see you, Corey. Yeah, but that's okay. We'll forgive Jay there. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I was late. YTT.
How's it going?
What's your as we're waiting here for Dave Naylor? Let's talk a little bit more about this series coming up. I know you're excited.
Gosh.
A little bit of news here, hey? Do you want to break that to the people about what's going on Saturday night?
News?
Indeed.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah. This is kind of cool.
Put the camera on. Don't be
Tommy,
shy.
good old Tommy boy. He will be he'll be at the Elks game that night. So they need someone to host the pregame show, which will be at Hudson's. Wem, definitely go there because I will be hosting the pregame show with Sean Bell and Matt Cassian. I can't wait. It's going to be really cool. Sorry, I'm just getting the camera set up here. But I'm really looking forward to it. Talked to the folks last night. Gave Grandma a call. Said they finally, the boys are finally letting me on host a little bit. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be cool. It'll just be like just the same old. I love talking hockey, and that's kind of what I'm gonna like. Obviously the nerves will be there, but I'm just gonna focus on. I essentially just talk hockey, right? We're just talking hockey with the boys and just getting game one set up. There'll be a lot to talk about, so very much looking forward to that, and it's gonna be cool. Like I'm really looking forward to it, and with Belzy and Cass, like that's gonna be so fun. Like they're just such pros, and so I got a lot of good questions. That's kind of what I was working on last night. Just some questions already getting dialed in. So definitely, look forward to that. Stop by West Edmonton Mall, Hudson's, right on Bourbon Street. That's what we call it.
You'll hit the air at what time?
4:30.
And Maddie and
So I'm
Milne,
pumped.
you'll be doing the Elks pre. Like it's going to be a busy day on
We're
EST.
going to do the post-game show, but it's only going to be on YouTube.
Perfect.
Because the streaming is obviously going to go to the Oilers
GCL Diesel pregame show.
GCL Diesel pregame show with YouTube, Trev.
Yep.
This is great. It's going to be a jam-packed Saturday, both with the Stanley Cup Finals and, of course, the Elks home opener, and we'll dive a little more into that if I do believe Dave Naylor's roaring to go in the bullpen, and we appreciate his time. Dave Naylor from the CFL on TSN, and he is brought to you this morning by Pro-Am Sports. You can check them out today. Gear up for game day, gear up for game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals, as well as some Elks gear as well. You can go in there, visit them, 128th Avenue, St. Albert Trail, or from the comfort of your own home, proamsports.ca. Check them out, get some gear, get suited up for what's going to be a busy weekend, busy Saturday specifically here in Edmonton. Dave, welcome back to the show. We appreciate your time. I just wanted to get to the business side of things quite quickly with you. You had a piece up on tsn.ca just about 24 hours ago detailing 2 big stories that are kind of going on off the field with the Canadian Football League right now, and Chad Kelly and his 9-game suspension, and Sean Lemon at Alouette's camp dealing with the gambling penalties there that were on him. Can you just touch on those 2 situations, maybe where we're at on them, and what fans can expect, when we can expect them kind of being put down for good?
Yeah, I certainly can. And do I have to have an Oilers angle to be on the show today? I'm going to
ask you a prediction. We're going to get your prediction out of you, whether you like it or not. But certainly fit it in, innuendoize us if you must.
Well, I say my opening Oilers angle is I'm sitting about a half a kilometer from where Connor McDavid grew up here in Newmarket. So that's my
perfect.
That's my
good
angle.
Luck. That's good luck. There you go.
There's good luck. All right. So let's go into both. These are very strange situations because they both involve prominent players, and both situations are to different degrees unresolved. Sean Lemon was caught, for lack of a better word, gambling, placing a single bet when he was a member of the Calgary Stampeders in 2021. And the league gave him an indefinite suspension. And when you're a 35-year-old defensive lineman, an indefinite suspension is basically a career ender. Sean Lemon unretired, and then launched an appeal. And the way the CFL's appeal process works is once you appeal while they're putting together an arbitration hearing, you can participate fully with your team if your team allows it. And the Montreal Alouettes have allowed it. They welcome Sean Lemon back. He'll be on the field tonight in Winnipeg. And I think it's likely that his arbitration hearing will come together about late June, so he could play 3-4 games. And there's a lot of misguided criticism of the league on this one. Like, I can't believe the league. This is not the league's call. I mean, the league can't sign a collective agreement with its players and then violate it, right? And say, it's like any work arrangement. You have to go by the rules. And the rules say if a guy appeals, he can participate. And the same would apply to Chad Kelly, who has not appealed, by the way. We reported this week that Chad Kelly's the legal case and the wrongful dismissal case against the Toronto Argonauts have been resolved. They're all part of the same suit, but the matters were resolved to the satisfaction of all parties through mediation recently. So Chad Kelly's legal troubles are over, but this is sort of parallel tracks. There's a CFL disciplinary process as well. And in that case, I've been led to believe that he's taking the actions to start the assessment and counseling, which I think is going to run concurrent to how long his suspension is going to be. So if he doesn't start it on time, his suspension could be a little longer because the league has reserved its right not to reinstate him until it's satisfied with his commitment to this. He could still appeal. The question, I guess, would be, would the Argonauts, like the Alouettes have done with Sean Lemon, say, yeah, you could appeal, you can come right back and play? I'm not sure the Argos would do that, just because I think there's a greater public relations side to this one.
Yeah. And
I think they're kind of playing the long game with Chad Kelly, saying, hey, we need a bit of image rehabilitation here if you're going to be the long-term answer to our at quarterback. And that probably can't be achieved by you playing during a suspension. Now, I don't know that that's what the team is saying, but I'm going by the fact that on May the 9th, Chad Kelly showed up at one Argo practice. There was quite the outcry about that because it was the same week he was suspended, and he hasn't been seen since. He could be at practice every day right now, but he hasn't been. So it seems hard to me to believe that the Argos are going to go from not having Chad Kelly at practice to having him playing in games, while he's appealing his suspension. So I expect we're kind of on the road to late August when it comes to Chad Kelly, the next time we're going to see him in an Argo uniform.
Team decisions, though, stressing, not a league.
No.
Oh, yeah. And I think that gets lost in the shuffle a lot.
Well, it does. There's been a lot of commentary. This is a terrible look for the league. Randy Ambrosie's lost control of the league. No, Randy Ambrosie's going by the collective agreement. And I guess you could say, well, could he not pick up the phone and say to the Argonauts, I don't want to see Chad? Well, I guess he could, but I mean, the guy just suspended Chad Kelly for half a season. He's kind of out on a bit of a limb in terms of discipline where we are right there in terms of extremes and precedent. So, is he going to overreach and pick up the phone and say, yeah, and I don't want him practicing or playing? That's the kind of thing
we'd be crowing about that it's now he's meddling in affairs, right? I mean, that'd be the next.
Well, and the minute the CFLPA learned about that, they'd grieve it because that's not within your powers. So, again, I understand why from a distance, this looks like the league doesn't have control and Ambrosie's not doing what he should be doing. But neither of these cases does he have any prescribed authority to do anything about it. All that said, I think he hates the fact that both these cases are playing out with uncertainty around them. I think he'd like a lot of uncertainty. And again, I think even the Lemon case, I think, because gambling has been such a black and white issue for sports, right? There's no gray. It's like you do it, you don't play, and you get a heavy punishment. I think that one optically looks bad for the league just because of the nature of other guys. The minute somebody finds out you gambled in a game you played in, it's like gone, right? Yep. It just seems to be. And in this case, Lemon has exercised his appeal. And I don't think there's any doubt that he I haven't spoken to Sean Lemon, but people I know who have. It doesn't sound like there's any debate about it. The only things I think he could challenging would be one, indefinite suspension. Is that too long? Or maybe say, hey, give me a number here, right? And maybe you could challenge that. Or the other one would be, that he didn't know that he's not supposed to be betting on a game that he's in. That would seem a bit of a stretch given his veteran status and how clearly everybody understands that in sports. But we'll see.
Lieutenant Eric with you, Jason Milne as well, CFL and TSN's Dave Naylor. Jay.
Dave, I got a couple questions here for you, but just a quick one off the hop. How did the defending Grey Cup champs in the Montreal Alouettes open on the road in Winnipeg? Is this a scheduling issue, or am I missing something?
Well, you probably are, and I probably am as well. And just historically, when the CFL has sort of things in their schedule that make no sense at all, generally, if I dig down deep enough, I can find out there's a reason. That they generally don't just do irrational things with the schedule for no reason. But this one, I can tell you who's asking the exact same question that you are asking. The Montreal Alouettes. I had a conversation with Danny Machocha this week, and hey, y'all ready for the start of the season? Yeah, but not crazy about starting on a short week on the road. Because they played Friday, because everybody did. But so it's a weird one because, and again, I don't know what usually. And look, the Alouettes are one of the tougher teams to schedule, because they share their stadium with McGill University. And in fact, the primary tenants are McGill University teams, and the Alouettes are a secondary tenant, even though they're the only ones that need the full capacity. So I don't know if it has anything to do with that, but everybody I think loves the Grey Cup rematch. The Owls don't love the fact that they've got to go to Winnipeg. And, that's that. But I can't give you an answer on why that one was not. Sometimes it has nothing to do with what's actually available right now. It's some concoction of schedule in week 13 and
down the road, or
you had to do this. Yeah, that's generally there's dominoes, before you actually get to the answers to questions like this.
I just thought, it was an outlier. It looked a little off. So yeah, okay.
To me, Dave, in my conspiratorial head, I thought the schedule makers prior to last year's Grey Cup kind of thought, well, this will probably happen, and just went off and signed off on it, and now they're like, oh, holding the bag here, but probably not. I like to think that
the
way.
Alouettes might buy that theory.
Maybe. Well, they're fired up, and as they should be. You're right. And short week too. Well said.
And now, Dave, my second question was to bring it back here to Edmonton, where the Elks have their home opener Saturday against the Rough Riders. The Elks finished dead last in rushing last year, where they allowed 136 yards per game. That was the worst in the CFL. Now they're going up against a Saskatchewan Rough Rider team that went out and signed free agent running back, the prize of the free agent, pick in AJ Ouellette. So it appears that they're going to commit back to the run game, which they've had some struggles with over the last year. Where do you see this shaking up? Is this something where, are you watching how the Rough Riders use Ouellette more, or are you watching the Elks front seven to see how they can handle that? Because by all accounts, the Elks defense is going to be the weakest spot of, special teams, offense, defense.
No Jake Serezna. That's the big hole, right?
It sounds like the defense is going to be lacking. But Do you think this is a big challenge for them right off the hop in facing this prize free agent?
Yeah, I think it is. They've also made some improvements on their offensive line as well. And if you look, to your point, Saskatchewan, I believe, ran the ball worse than any team in the CFL last year. And when you talk about the importance of that kind of thing, especially after Labor Day, you might get a sense of how that might have played into them dropping whatever it was 7 in a row, after Labor Day. You got to run the ball after Labor Day. You sure got to do it in that part of the country where when the weather turns. And I think they've made a concerted effort to be a more physical team. There's two elements of this matchup, this game, that I really like. One is the team that was the poorest at running the ball against the team that gave up the most rushing yards last year, right? So as you suggest, Saskatchewan's trying to improve running the ball. Edmonton is trying to protect it. And, defensively, there were no more sure things in the CFL last year than Edmonton giving up the ball in the run and Ottawa giving up big plays in the passing game. Those are two things you can pretty much count on every single week in terms of leaky defenses. I think I'm a little more intrigued to just see what Willette looks like in Saskatchewan, but I'm curious to see Joel DeBlanco in the middle of Edmonton's defense. And look, he's a guy who's not going to be, a play in space, match linebacker coverage. He's more of a kind of traditional downhill thumper. So, that's kind of more the type of guy who's going to give you some plus in playing the run, perhaps more than the pass, as is sometimes the case with CFL linebackers. He's just more of that traditional type. But anybody who saw him at the combine and has seen his NFL preseason film or what he did in the spring league, he's definitely a pro-ready guy. So I'm kind of interested to see what impact he will have on that. But I think the other thing just in this game is, sometimes in the CFL we feel like, 6 out of 9 teams make the playoffs and it's a long season and November's a long way away and all that kind of stuff. But I'll tell you, when you talk to the teams and the coaches and the GMs, they do not see the first month of the season the way fans do sometimes. And especially with these two teams coming off, here's an interesting stat. Last year was the first time in the history of the 9-team CFL that the standings were the exact same, East and West, 2 years in a row. It has never happened before. It happened in an 8-team CFL, but it never happened in a 9-team. So you've got Edmonton and Saskatchewan that are not just coming off 9 non-playoff seasons. They're coming off back-to-back non-playoff seasons for both teams. And in the case, and you've got that opening week game last year, right, where all Edmonton has to do is pound it in on first and goal from the 1, and they don't, and they don't win again for 3 months. So, I'm telling you, there's a lot of expectations around both of these teams, and I think in terms of a week 1 matchup, and I'm never going to throw the term must win in, but I'll throw in would really, 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 really be much better if they could win for either of these teams.
I agree.
I think that's going to be a tone setter. Yeah.
Dave, where are we at? What time is it with the Elks ownership situation? I know we had a bit of a rough timeline. Of course, the club dealing with Park Lane, who figured out the Alouettes ownership situation a few years back. So any more updates on this? I know we had, again, a bit of a staggered, we had dates in front of us and things would happen here or there. Where are we at with this thing kind of advancing and evolving?
Yeah, back in the winter, the target was kind of the opening of the regular season. And now I think it's kind of mid-season. And the good part of that is that, look, I've covered enough CFL ownership transitions where the reason that it gets delayed and pushed down the road is they can't find anybody who wants to own the team. I have covered many of those, including, the Montreal Alouettes, not this current ownership change, but the one from Wetnall, to Gary Stern. That one took forever because they could not find anybody who was willing to make the financial commitment that they required for ownership. So it's the opposite in this one, from what I understand. They got a lot of interest on this one. I think it was up close to 20 different individuals or groups that had reached out. It took them longer, obviously, when you got that many expressions of interest, to pare that down to 6 or 7. And now they're going through the 6 or 7 stage. And I'm led to believe that every one of these 6 or 7 is either local or has a significant local connection. By that, I mean, could be somebody who's living somewhere else but has business interests or is from Edmonton or has some other connection to the city. There's nobody who's just, the box maker from South Carolina or something like that, So, which I think is good. I think an understanding of the market is important. But and look, there's no cash call on this team. They're flush to get through the season. So I'm expecting, given the history of these kind of things, if this gets done by Labor Day, I'll be I wouldn't say surprised, but it won't shock me if it drifted past that. And again, there's no real urgency or crisis around this one, which sets it apart from a lot of other CFL ownership transitions that I have covered in my career.
Dave, you got hell of an act for turning the temperature down just to a right degree, both with the Lemon and the Kelly things. Again, people look at this situation, and again, no news. Ultimately, you think, again, as you mentioned with the Alouettes, well, nobody... It's the complete opposite, and you do want to get this one right in the end, obviously. Just before we let you go, Dave, and we appreciate your time as always, some news breaking here as well. CFL coming to CTV this fall, exclusive 1 o'clock Mountain Saturday games beginning September 7th. TSN and CTV combining to deliver afternoon playoff matchups and the 111th Grey Cup. So a little more action, a little more views, both on CTV, maybe a little more of you, Dave Naylor, as well on the broadcasts.
Well, the more exposure, the better for the game, certainly. And that's something people bring up to me sometimes, and I never have an answer for them about it. So there you go.
Good to see. Dave Naylor, we appreciate your time, man. Enjoy week 1 beginning tonight, and the season. We'll chat soon.
Great to join you guys. Thanks so much. Take care.
Dave Naylor, CFL on TSN. He's got his finger on multiple pulses when it comes to league affairs, both on and off the field, and we appreciate his time for that. Of course, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. Gear up for game day with Oilers Adidas jerseys, on-ice name and number of sewing. Visit them today in Edmonton, quarter of 128th Avenue, St. Albert Trail, or online, proamsports.ca. And anything you're pulling out of there? I mean, I know the game as itself, as Dave mentioned, the standings being the exact same. This, too, is the exact same almost of last year, where the Elks kicking off the season in fashion, but failing to have that goal line stand. That can make or break a lot, right? Like that even in the game in Regina, and I can't remember the not knowing of the single point and all the
rules,
those little things along a season. I mean, those are 2 wins there that you could have picked up. You give yourself a little momentum, maybe pick up a couple more. Now you're flirting with a playoff spot or in one. So it's those moments, and that's why this game, even if it is week 1, hugely important to get out of the tracks good.
Well, don't kid yourself. I mean, there is a lot of pressure on this organization right now, and I'm speaking of the Elks, from the brass to head coach Chris Jones to the decisions that have been made in the offseason. And that's why, Dave was saying, this is, hate to say it, but this is damn near a make or break win. You must win game. And I feel that if the Elks can come out, and I would say, even though they are favored currently, I still think it would be a bit of a surprise for them to come out and win to the league, right? To the league to say, hey, maybe this is a team that's got their stuff together finally.
Yeah.
I think that would be a huge statement, which could propel them in the right direction. I think a loss, or particularly a blowout loss, would be devastating.
I don't see a blowout, but again, I don't know if a blowout would just be, and then that's like a depressingly devastating.
Or a lackadaisical loss.
You want aesthetically, you want to see an effort, you want to see hard playing, you want to see fast
an
football.
Offense that can control the clock, can move the ball down the field, that can run the ball.
Yeah.
Right? The running game is going to be so important to this team this year.
But also like a Chris Jones, like let's take it back to a CJ defense of athletes out there running around. I don't care what position they're in, hungry, hard, and fast.
Well, Odell Willis was on the hangout with us on Monday, and he's helping coach with the Elks this season.
Good.
And he said there's some players that have come in that you're not going to know about, but they're ballers. And he backed that up by saying the last time they won the Grey Cup was in 2015. He was on that team, and they brought in guys like Willie Jefferson. And there was a plethora of names that are now household names in the CFL or NFL. So if Chris Jones can do that again and make something out of nothing, then this could be a big year.
Let's hit a sports break first. We'll come back with the Cool Bet hotline of the day. Also, while the sports break, Trev's going to call somebody. If you did qualify yesterday for our $100,000 swing to win hole-in-one contest, be by your phone now. Trev will be calling one of you lucky qualifiers from yesterday. We will give out the next keyword as well, so you can qualify for the chance to call tomorrow as well. So be by your phone. We'll do a sports update. Trev will get somebody on the line. We'll come back. Cool Bet Canada hotline of the day. I got beef, and that hurts all before 8 o'clock.
At some point, I'm going to need to have the horns, Eric, okay? I'm gonna need those horns. It's CFL opening day, baby. In the CFL, it kicks off tonight. Yes, baby, let's go. The CFL season kicks off tonight with a tilt between the Blue Bombers and the Alouettes from Winnipeg. Kickoff is at 6:30 on TSN. And calling all fans, join us this Saturday as the Edmonton Elks charge into their historic 75th season against the Saskatchewan Roughriders in their home opener. Witness history in the making at Commonwealth Stadium and be there for the roar with the herd. Tickets available now at goelks.com or on Ticketmaster. The NBA Finals finally tip off tonight in Boston as the Celtics will take on the Mavericks. Dallas head coach Jason Kidd stated that Luka Doncic has the chance to become the greatest Maverick ever if he wins a championship this season. Tip-off goes at 6:30. In the West Coast League, your Edmonton Riverhawks defeat the Ridgefield Raptors by a score of 10-4 and are now sitting at 3-3 on the season. And the Blue Jays squeak one out against the Orioles as they drive in the game-winning run in the bottom of the ninth. The third and final game of this set goes this morning from Toronto. And the Canadian men's national team takes on the Netherlands today from Rotterdam. The international friendly kicks off at 12:45 local time. This sports update has been brought to you by the staff at Park Mazda and Mitch Lewicki. Mitch knows that being a businessman and a father means responsibility, not just for your main family, but also the secret one in Norway nobody knows about.
If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki with like a giant eagle's wings and singing lead vocals for Leonard Skinner with like an angel band. And I'm in the crowd hammered drunk.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
I've got something under my skin, and the itch won't go away. It's my original sin, the poison that I crave. Come along for the ride, I'd make you feel better. Cut the rope that I tied, but then I broke my skin again. You got me fiending for that first high, but the feeling's not the same. You got me stealing, killing, I die just to feel you in my veins.
7:33, you're listening to The Nielson Show on EdmontonSportsTalk.com, the iHeart and TuneIn radio apps, and as always on YouTube as well. If you're in the new YouTube nasty chat this morning, hit the like, hit the sub if you haven't already, and you can be on your way. It's a beautiful thing. That's Whale and the Wolf there as well, the EST House Band. Ripping them a little bit today for your listening pleasure. 780-218-9999, Paris Jewelers Inbox. If you want to crack that $20 to A&W for text of the day, send your thoughts in, 780-218-9999. We'll go to a quick Coolbet Canada hotline of the day, and I think Jay Milne had something cooking up with the CFL, specifically the game here Saturday between the Elks and Riders.
Well, it's going to include that, yeah, but why not dive right in and just get yourself into a hot, steamy 4-team parlay?
4-team, yes, let's go.
Boom,
One. Boom,
let's
boom,
do
boom.
it. Okay, so
do you
here's
got?
what we're running with. In the CFL, the home team, especially earlier in the season, is generally a strong bet. So I'm going to go with the home team in the first 3 games, except the Lions and Argos. I think the Lions are going to come out of the Western Conference this year. I don't think it's going to be Winnipeg.
Okay.
I think with Vernon Adams at the helm, the Lions could possibly win the Grey Cup, to be quite honest with you. Anyways, we're hitting up the Bombers, the Stamps, the Elks, and the Lions. That's a 4-team parlay that totals up to plus 517.
Okay.
So $10 would win you $51.69. For the odds, bang for your buck, just to get a little scratch on this weekend's games, I'd say why not? I mean, I think after tonight's game, you're going to be happy. The only the real two toss-ups are the tomorrow night and Saturday game with the Elks, and then obviously with Bo Levi Mitchell returning to Calgary.
That's a funny one too.
It's going to be an interesting one.
Don't know what to make of the Stamps. Jake, good numbers, but like I don't know if he comes across to me as a quarterback that leads a team to success, puts up good numbers, stats wise, fantasy wise. But and then Bo Levi.
This is a home team, I guess esque, somewhat a parlay. Except
sure, yeah.
I think the Lions are going to take it to the Argonauts.
You're hitting the high notes. Quite clearly, nobody in the West you care about when they're playing the East. You always cheer for the East, but in this case, you're going with your mind over your heart and the Lions over there, which is the safe bet. The Chad Kelly-less Argonauts are not the same Argonauts, right? I mean, that's a... And Mace gone. The defense takes a bit of a hit. Still some of the same personnel, but dawning of a new day in Toronto. And also losing that Thor of a running back in A.J. Ouellette.
Well, it looks like he's on a team you like now.
Well, they're going to be trying to. That's what they're going to be doing: running the ball, the rock, the O-line, and certainly, I mean, that's something they'll have to pick up from last season, as Naylor said, finishing rock bottom there in that department.
I don't want to harp on the CFL too much, but we did kind of say this was a CFL show. Gosh darn, it would be great if the Elks could be good again. If the Double E could get back into
winning matters, right? Winning matters
into the winning column. I think this city would come around. And,
yeah.
You know,
why not?
It's so much better when they're doing better.
Lots of things happening: basketball, baseball, hockey, and football. So if you want, look, I'll say this too. In our CFL 4-man fantasy league, which Matt Iwanek champions, commissions, and runs, any type of fantasy or betting, and with you and the Cool Bet, maybe we ride with you every single week and doing your weekly parlays just to get some interest in it. If you're not interested in an Alouettes Tiger Cats matchup, you got a little money on the line, a few bucks, bam, you're interested. We were all interested in Korean baseball, for crying out loud, at one point. Don't tell me you weren't. I know who you were. But yeah,
it depends. Lions on money line. Ooh, that's minus 380. Yeah, I understand. But when you put that into a parlay, a 4-team parlay, your odds are actually looking pretty good. Could you take them against the spread? Sure, but I'd say why not? Why go in the last game of your 4-game parlay? Why leave it to a spread?
Yeah,
right?
A little action there on Sunday mid-afternoon evening. Yeah, so follow Jay to Cool Bet. That's where you can go, and that's where you can place the wagers. Stay cool, bet responsibly. CoolBet.ca. Let's move on. I got beef now, courtesy Corey the Butcher and Acme Meats, which I was going to go out and pay old Corey a visit. I do believe he's competing as he normally does. He's always in some competition. We got the $100,000. We got somebody on the line too? Yeah, okay. We will move I Got Beef here in a couple minutes, but first we do have a qualifier, or a contestant actually, as it were, who qualified yesterday. But who we got on the line here, Trev?
Yeah, he goes by Adam, or his name is Adam, but he goes by Berlando.
Now that's a little more familiar. Everybody says their real driver's license names, and I'm like, who are you? I'm Berlando. Berlando, Adam, how you doing? Congratulations, man. You were number 8, I do believe, in line for the $100,000 swing to win. Have you gotten a hole-in-one before in your life?
No, I have not.
Okay, have you been out to this?
This would be the place.
Yeah, have you been out to this hole at the ranch yet? Are you familiar with the location?
I am actually. It's over the water.
Okay.
So yeah, it's that'll eliminate a lot of guys right there.
You sound pretty confident. I love it. And you obviously know where it is. You know what's happening, that type of thing. If you win the purse, what are you doing with the money?
I'll probably save some money for the kids and then some custom pads for some beer league, goal league hockey.
Jason Milne loves it, man. I think you hit all the high notes with him there, and with the kids and being the dad. I mean, that's you crossed out all the boxes there. Berlando, good luck, man. Once again, we will see you down July 3rd at the Ranch Golf and Country Club. You will be 8th in line if somebody sinks that puppy before you. Competition over, but you're number 8. I think that's a nice kind of middle ground. So excited to see you there, man, and good luck.
Awesome. Thanks, boys.
There you go. That's Adam. Yeah, Berlando. Yeah. Berlando, you may know him from the Paris Jewelers inbox. It's the $100,000 hole-in-one presented by Golf Town. Swing big this Father's Day and find dad or yourself the perfect gift at Golf Town. Save big, huge deals on TaylorMade in-store and online now through June 9. Don't miss their top deals. TaylorMade Sim 2 driver, only $329.98. 25% off all TaylorMade bags. 2 dozen prior gen TP5 balls for only $80 plus much more. Golftown.com or in store, and we thank them for sponsoring this fun event. I'm crossing my toes that the weather will be great, but heading out there for a $100,000 hole-in-one is going to be quite fun, especially with the nasties getting involved. So,
Well, if you are looking for something a little live, a little something to spice up your morning, we can go Philippines Basketball League. We've got the Binan Tatak Jail taking on the General Santos Warriors.
Oh, the Generals are due. The
Generals are down by 13 points right now. It's a struggle in the third quarter. I think I'm going to take the Generals at plus 13.5. I think they're just due on this one.
They're due. The Generals are due.
So if you want to ride with Glue Guy, we'll watch this for the rest of the show. Oh, God, no, I'm not.
Oh, God, no. Man,
okay, I'm taking about 15.5.
This is back and forth here.
I'm locked in.
You're locking it in?
Yeah.
The Generals.
All right. The General Santos Warriors are now my favorite team.
Warriors.
Odds didn't change. Boom.
You know, perhaps during the summer months, you maybe get a little 15-minute J podcast on the Philippine Basketball Association.
Oh, if you know me, you know how much I really love this league.
General Santos City is a city in the Philippines. So, I mean, there's the General Santos there. I got beef. Corey the Butcher, Acme Meat, check them out today as well. As I mentioned, Corey's always in some competitions. He is the beef man of town, knows his way around a knife and a carcass. But we will get into I Got Beef for Corey the Butcher and Acme Meats. Eat fresh, eat local, eat Acme. Acme Meats, serving Edmonton for over 100 years, family business, locally owned, operated. You go in there, it's like an episode of Peaky Blinders. Corey's in there, he's got the knives, the tattoos, the white smock, draped in blood. It's a beautiful thing. It's like an old style butchery. He's got the old butcher paper, right? He's got the pepperoni sticks on the counter for your ride home, and just great product. He gave me a couple of steaks the other day. Wife was out of town for
I
work.
saw those.
I was like, well, I was saving. It was like a champagne, you know?
Those
You're
are
keeping
beautiful. Those were
marbled, perfect.
Yeah.
She's out of town. I'm like, why not? I'll just eat them both myself. And
Did
I
you
did,
eat them
and
both?
They were. I'm gonna swear here, but they were delicious.
I mean, so that would have been a. I'm forgetting the name of the cut.
Oh, this is bad, and Corey's gonna be swearing here.
No.
It was one where you could have cut off a bit.
Ribeye.
I think it was. I think it was.
Those were ribeyes.
Nice and thick.
Yes. Thick,
nice
marbled.
little fat content on there.
Yeah.
Whoop, baby, right on the grill. It was a dream. So I thank Corey for that, but I'll have to get in there sooner rather than later.
Ribeye is the Cadillac of steaks.
Well, I mean,
there's some people that'll say like tenderloin, or but I think for bang for your buck,
porterhouse, if you will.
I like the marbling of a ribeye more than a tenderloin. Is a very lean meat.
Yeah,
it's very soft and tender, as per the name.
You ever had a Wagyu?
I haven't.
Nope. Neither have I.
I really want to. Maybe I'll go see Corey. Because that's something you have to splurge on, and it's just I don't know, like if from all what I've heard, it tastes phenomenal. But I don't know.
What do you boys have any beef? I do have a little bit of beef, and
I've
it may
got
be
pretty.
Please,
I've got a lot of beef today, actually. And like this is funny because I usually struggle with finding.
Put the camera.
Go on a rant here. Go on a rant.
This one. So the last few days, I'd say it's been a little breezy out there. My beef is just Edmontonians thinking that it's crazy windy, and like just the saying like that they struggle with this wind and just how windy it is, and I'm like, that's wind. Like, I mean, it
is windy for Edmontonians though.
Yeah, but like it's
just
not really.
From
but
Pincher
it's not really wind. Like it's not really windy. Like that's like it's okay. It's okay.
Then what is it? Is it God blowing on me?
That's just wind. It's not windy. Like it's like there's a totally. It's just wind. That's just wind as what it is. Like it's not gusting. Like growing up, if you look, I challenge all the nasties.
Ooh, this is a YTT challenge.
Look up wind capital of Canada, and if you look it up, it's Pincher Creek. That's where there's the most windmills you'll ever see in your entire life. It's crazy. They're just scattered all over amongst the mountains. If you know, you know. But there's right by Crow's Nest Pass, we used to have this wind. It like detects how fast the wind is, and one day I just remember it was like huge news back home because it was crazy. But the sign it actually got blown over because it clocked in the last final read that it had. It was 163 kilometers an hour. Like that's windy. Like that's incredible.
That's
so
that's not wind. That's windy.
Yeah, that's windy. That is actually windy. But it's true. Like and it's so funny. Like when I was bartending here, people were like, "Oh, like it's so windy out there today." I'm like, I'm like, it's wind.
It's
like
all
that's
relative,
just wind.
though.
And
Well,
people
as a
they get so
Saskatchewanite,
defensive.
I see
they
where you're
get
coming
so
from.
defensive.
I
and
was
they're
born
like,
in the wind.
yeah, exactly. They're like, no, it's windy here. It gets wind. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Like, you ask anyone from back home, they all say like, wow, like I can't get over how windy it is here today. I'm like, oh, this is like a pretty fair day. Like it's like 50 kilometers an hour. That's not really windy. Like that's just like for me and everyone back home, and my parents were back. They actually came up for the weekend.
Did they complain it's too windy up
No,
here?
and I said, I'm like, you brought the wind with you, and they were like, yeah, we were talking to the front desk lady, saying like, wow, like we just can't get over how windy it is the last few days, and my mom was like, yeah, like I don't know, like that's just normal, like that's not that bad. So yeah, like a lot of people, I don't know, they get defensive when I say that it's not windy here. People like feel like they're like, no, it is. It does get so windy. No, it doesn't. There's the first week that I moved to Edmonton, me and my buddy, we sat out on the deck and we were like, holy crap, like this is calm. Like this would be a perfect day for golf, because back home you were always golfing in the wind. And it was the second day and we were like, wow, like this is also another really good day for golf. And then by come around the next week, we're like, okay, I think it's just every day is just an amazing day to golf here because there's no wind. So I'm saying it. I just don't like how people complain about the wind. There is no wind in Edmonton. You guys should be very grateful and thankful. That's my beef. I get triggered.
Beautiful beef.
Sorry.
You know, you're right, relatively speaking, but it does. I like seafood, food from the sea. I was born in a landlocked province. I live in a landlocked province, but I enjoy a nice piece of fish. But it's not. You're not in the coast. Well, I know, but it's like, yeah, you take what you get, you know. And I think if you're complaining about the wind too, of all things, it's probably a best case scenario in terms of your life and where you're at, right? I will draw your attention to a score June 4th: Lethbridge Bulls 31, Brooks Bombers 26, and that was a score from the Western Canadian Baseball League down in Lethbridge a couple of days ago with the wind. And smallest ballpark in the league or in the world?
Smallest it is. Yeah.
So. Yeah, 31-26, a conservative score down there between the Bulls and the Bombers in a win-laden game, but that shows the power of the wind. That's the power in the score right there with those wind measurements. But Coast of Newfoundland, Joel says, haha, there's something. Take that. Coast of Newfoundland and Pincher Creek can have a wind off. Who blows the most?
A lot of people are ripping me, but I think your brother.
Well, you have a point. You have a point, but it is all relative.
It is relative.
If it rains here, you can be like, oh, it's raining, it's wet. Yeah, well, try living in
Vancouver.
But it's not at the same point, because people are saying, like, I'd say,
I get what you're saying.
I would say, I'm like, it's this is kind of windy, but it's not like back home. It's like extremely windy, and people would be like, no, like it's windier
It gets
here.
hot here in
I'm like,
the summer, but it's
no,
hot on the
not.
sun. The sun is actually hot.
That's why you're growing such a nice beard here, is because back home it would blow off your face.
Exactly. And another thing, if you look at all the trees in Pincher Creek, Lethbridge, but primarily Pincher Creek and surrounding area, they're all pointing east. It's because when they're, growing, they're literally, the wind is just so strong. So all the trees are like, it's the wind has such an effect on the trees. It's crazy.
I didn't know you were so passionate about the wind.
Martin says, I can see YouTube Trev going on a 10-minute rant about the wind before pouring someone their drink when he was a bartender.
Yeah, I did get into it with some people because they just complained, and they're like, no, it's way windier here. I'm like, no, it's not. I don't know why they got so defensive.
Customer, boy, sure is windy out there. YTT takes a long drag off a cigarette. Look, pal, you don't even know what windy is. Comes in from Pat. That's a good text of the day right there, I think. Yeah, that's material there.
Yeah.
Dicky Sparks. So Trev's telling me not to go to Windy Creek or whatever the wind tunnel is called. You just grew up in an odd spot. Yeah, relativity, I think we're learning about today, but it's not snowing. It's just snow, BB says. I like the it's not windy, it's just wind quote as well. That's
it's true.
A thinker.
That's just wind. It's not windy.
I mean, Big Maple's on your side in the nasty chat. He says, no, Trev, I get it. The wind burn. I got it in Lethbridge. It felt like I fell into a volcano.
Yeah.
It's legit.
But when you're not experiencing that on the regular, I think you can be a little more complainative than.
I love that text.
BB in he texts in. It's. Oh wait, where is it? Oh yeah. It's not snowing. It's just snow.
Yeah.
I get it. It's all relative.
All relative. Let's get into that. Hertz before 8 o'clock, brought to you by SB-LLP. Injury lawyers, you can check them out today. If you, personal injury, accident, lots of Albertans experience this every single day. Maybe a wind-involved accident, but you're too overwhelmed to seek the legal advice you need. Leave it in the hands of those who can look after it for you, the experts at SB-LLP. Injury lawyers have the experience to gather evidence and advance your claim to ensure you get fair compensation. And the best part is you don't need to be intimidated by the process. Check them out online, www.sb-llp.com, or give them a call, 780-438-5281. I assume YouTube Trev would say the wind burn hurts on the face while you're down in Pincher Creek, Lethbridge area, but anything else hurting you guys coming out from the sporting world or otherwise? I know YouTube Trev, you have a bit of an announcement, more of a positive one. I don't think it hurts, so we can kind of save that, I guess, till after 8. But what hurts for you boys?
I got something that hurts. It hurt my my sleeping ability, I guess you can say. So 2 nights ago, as you can probably hear, I'm just getting I'm on the upside of a cold or whatever, so my voice was lacking. So it's coming back. It's great, awesome. So 2 nights ago was the night before I hosted the morning show. So you know I like to get in to bed earlier. Decided to have a tea with my mother-in-law, just tea and honey. You know, thinking this will help my voice, soothe it before I go to bed. I did not know that there is caffeine in green tea.
Well, you find out sometimes the hard way. Some of these
I thought tea was uncaffeinated.
Huh?
I've been living my life a lie because I don't drink tea. I drink coffee. I did not know that there is caffeine in green tea, and I could not sleep for the life of me. It was the roughest night because here I just pounded a
just
tall
a little
glass.
Spot or like a big
No, it was a tall mug.
Like this isn't tea time with the
no,
fine
it was
china.
not tea and crumpet time. It was let's get some of this hot sauce down the mouth.
This was a therapeutic angle for you. You wanted to kind of, you were trying to.
I was trying to do the right thing.
Yeah. And caffeine, you know what that does to you too. It it's even worse.
It irritates. It's an irritant. Yeah. So I really screwed that up. That hurt.
Yeah.
That hurt.
Well, yeah. The sleeping, and even again, as you're saying, all you're doing is trying to give your throat a little massage there, and boom, 50 cc's of caffeine right to the.
I rolled the girls were up that night too, so my wife was trying to help them and trying to let me sleep, and I said to her at midnight, I'm like, I'm screwed. I cannot sleep.
Pupils the size of dish plates, just wide awake. Love it.
There's actually more caffeine in tea than coffee, says Joe Balneski.
Well, depending on brands and everything.
This was green tea, which I think is pretty bold. But golly, I feel like an idiot. But it did hurt my ability to sleep. I'll tell you that.
Rip City Sep says, sounds like Trev should build a windmill to harvest all of this beef. Trev could power the EST office with his wind talk. Maybe get him out like a bit of a weather vane on the roof. And as Belineski, yes, did inform you, more caffeine in tea than coffee. Did that kind of scare you away? I mean, I know you're back on the train, albeit this morning.
No,
as far as the evening teas go, are you kind of
I got a green tea this morning on my way in.
But in the nights, you're not going to drink tea again afternoon.
No.
You've gone down that road. It scares you now.
But my mother-in-law said that you can have a chamomile, which is an herbal tea that does not have caffeine in it.
Tube Socks hooked me up with a particular brand that his son uses. His son's a musician for the throat and everything. And it's actually over the counter at most grocery stores. I'll have to hook you up with the brand. Very nice. Not too much, no sweetness or sugar, no caffeine.
Hit me up.
But again, just real good on the, a strong tea, caffeine or otherwise, really fixes up the body right. Maybe you include that in your pre-weekend diet here with all the
a lot going on,
drinking and eating that we'll all be doing over the weekend, beginning tomorrow with the Riverhawks home opener as well, that they'll be down at Remax taking on the Nanaimo Night Owls.
I hope you guys rode with Glue Guy here on the South Catabobo Warriors against the Binan Titak Gel, because they have brought it back to 3 points.
Go General Santos City.
Go General Santos Warriors.
We've said hashtag General Santos City from the start.
Philippines Basketball League.
GSC, baby. Put it on the map. I really love your cool bet lines of the day here moving forward.
Gosh darn, a guy could have taken money line here, I think.
Well, follow him to the bank.
That 15.5-point spread's a lock.
Big Maple says you can't spell caffeinated without the letters TEA. And All Day Niners says, just because it's windier where you come from doesn't mean it's not windy. I work outside and it was windy. What a tool. Consider the nasty chat.
That hurts.
Hey, you got an opinion on it, and that's what we like. It's kind of an even keel here both ways, but
No. I'm sticking to my guns.
Oh no, as you should. No, there's nothing. We're not getting you off of your guns.
If
no.
It's not windy. I'm not buying into that.
It's not windy. It's just wind. He's giving big time. That's hockey. It happens vibes. Trevor Nurse.
We got to settle this because you're getting. This is a polarizing subject.
Oh, I know. And
that's what
great.
I say. Everyone gets so defensive when I say it's not windy here because it's not.
Put a poll up. Is it wind or is it windy?
Yeah.
Put the poll up. Is it windy? And we'll see what the results.
We'll see. It's just wind. Like there's a difference from wind and being windy. Like it's. I get so flustered.
Keep digging.
Well, no, I'm not digging, but it's true. That's just wind. But then when it gets windier, that's windy. It's true.
What about the windiest?
Yeah, that's all-time wind right there.
My man C. Hendo came in, former Wildcat brother. We used to paint our toenails together on road trips.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Hey, Milne, there's a decaffeinated tea, sleepy time tea. That's got to be your go-to when you're sick. A little bit of honey with that one, and you're good to go.
That's Sleepy Time. I think that's the brand I would say. I have the vision of the box in my mind here, but I can't remember the brand name.
Is there a little teddy bear on it?
It could be that guy. It could be that guy. Yeah. We all know him, hey?
Or
him or her. He's taking it easy there. You kind of want to be that teddy bear sometimes when you're feeling like that. When you come from a land of windmills, you're allowed to speak on wind. Or be Josh Clausen. So that comes in from Stubaka. It's an even split, and that's what we like with these topics. We like to divide people, get them all in their own camps, and everybody fights about it throughout the rest of the day. I'm sure we can kind of transition this conversation to the hangout. Maddie would probably love that. And
see, that's the thing. Maddie's definitely. I've said I'm like, it's not that windy
so
here.
Maddie will take the contrarian point of view. No, come on.
Yeah, he's like, no, it gets windy here in Edmonton. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Like it's a breeze. It's a breeze. I will say the last week has been like the most wind I've seen here in Edmonton.
Oh, so you're admitting it's been windy?
I said the most wind I've seen in Edmonton. I didn't say it's windy.
How about this one? Rip City Step has a question. When it's minus 30 here and it's minus 40 in Yellowknife, is it not cold here? A riddle from Rip City Step.
I'm not getting into temperatures. I'm talking
You're
about
not a
wind.
temperature guy.
I'm not a temperature guy, okay? I'm not a temperature expert. I'm a wind expert.
This one comes in from Hampton Steve.
Yes.
YTT talking about the wind shows that he's full of hot air.
It's a great conversation. Let's a little long-winded. Stanley Cup finals begin on Saturday.
Sean comes in. He says, "Good God, more wind talk. I'd rather you boys talk about soccer."
Hey, earmuffs, come on.
Wait,
we don't need to talk about sports. If you want to play kind of easy trivia, that's coming up just after 8. We want to get this puppy moving because we'll be joined by Dustin Nielsen's best friend and coworker, Glen Suitor. Of course, his color man on the CFL on TSN. He'll be by around 8:15, 8:20ish this morning. So we'll get going. If you want to play kind of easy trivia, you know the score. Jason Milne's got the questions. You need 3 out of 5 on the line. $20 to Mr. Mike's. Get in. Text in 780-218-9999. YouTube Trev will pick somebody. Text in wind if you want, or something along the lines of it. Try to get in YouTube Trev's good graces here, and he'll pick somebody randomly from the Paris Jewelers inbox. 780-218-9999. We'll do kind of easy trivia. 3 questions too many as well, and then Glen Suitor from TSN in the fan zone to wrap up a Thursday edition of the Nielson Show. 7:59. Lieutenant Eric, Jason Milne, and YouTube Trev. Let's get to a sports update for Claiborne Services.
In the Philippines Maharakala Basketball League, the South Cotabato Warriors are now up 74-73 on the Binan Tatak Gel. That game has 5 minutes and 19 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Follow along on Cool Bet and ride with Glue Guy. This CFL season kicks off tonight with a tilt between the Blue Bombers and the Alouettes from Winnipeg. Kickoff is at 6:30 on TSN. And calling all fans, join us this Saturday as the Edmonton Elks charge into their historic 75th season against the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the home opener. Witness history in the making at Commonwealth Stadium. Be there to roar with the herd. Tickets available now at goelks.com or on Ticketmaster. The NBA Finals tip off tonight in Boston as the Celtics will take on the Mavericks. Dallas head coach Jason Kidd stated that Luka Doncic has the chance to become the greatest Maverick ever if he wins a championship this season. Tip-off goes at 6:30. In the West Coast League, your Edmonton Riverhawks defeat the Ridgefield Raptors by a score of 10-4 and are now sitting at 3-3 on the season. And the Blue Jays squeak one out against the Orioles as they drive in the game-winning run in the bottom of the ninth. The third and final game of this set goes this morning from Toronto. And the Canadian men's national team takes on the Netherlands today from Rotterdam. The international friendly kicks off at 12:45 local time. This sports update has been brought to you by Claiborne Services. Take your career to the next level with Claiborne Services. They are hiring all positions, including journeyman bricklayers and apprentices of all levels. Take advantage of their outstanding mentorship program and work with peace of mind knowing they're an industry leader in safety. Visit www.claiborneservices.com or make it easy and give Jeff a call at 780-910-6728.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Dusty and Eric and all of the bad cats like Wyszynski and Noodles. Gadget can gauge it. Maybe it's fun but a cool band to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday mandate. Shaggy's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number one in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some hot takes and we wanna hear Renee. Wanna hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away. Beat up the tire fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the games? Macaramella, Rapapo, Dragger, Engineer. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about a given person, Dusty go forth. What say you? AM Nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
Love that tune. 8:03 Nielson Show. You're with Lieutenant Eric, Jason Milne, YouTube Trev behind the monitors. He is in it right now. He is debating. He is getting agreements and disagreements all over the place. But this is Edmonton Sports Talk, the Nielson Show, coming to you live from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio. You can hear us live, iHeart, TuneIn radio apps, and on YouTube where the nasty chat is going. Hit the like and hit the sub. Let's get going here. I know we're kind of in no man's land prior to the Stanley Cup playoffs or Stanley Cup finals, pardon me, getting underway. But we will carry you through leading up to tomorrow. Of course, Mike Johnson will return to the show, getting you all hot and horny, primed and ready for game one on Saturday. But the CFL season kicking off tonight from Winnipeg as well. We already had Dave Naylor on of TFSN. Glen Suitor will be joining us here in about 15 to 20 minutes as well. Want to give, and I forgot this, we did qualify Burlando. He was our next contestant in the $100,000 swing to win, which will be going out down at the Ranch Golf and Country Club. We want to give you the next keyword to text in to qualify to perhaps get a call tomorrow to be the next contestant in the swing to win. So today, June 6th, text in this word, HOMA. HOMA. H-O-M-A. Maximilian Homa. Text in HOMA. H-O-M-A. Four-letter word. H-O-M-A. Text it to 780-218-9999. And we'll pick one of you lucky texters, and you will qualify into the mix and perhaps get a call tomorrow morning. HOMA is the word HOMA. 780-218-9999. Kind of easy trivia. We got somebody on the line, Trev.
Yes, we do. His name is Michael. And
Michael.
He agrees with me.
Oh my gosh, Trevor, you.
Michael, how we doing today, man? How's the wind out there?
You know, it's not too bad. You know, my broom hasn't blown off my. I haven't flown my broom yet, so I'm okay.
Sounds great, man. Let's get going. You know the rules here. You need 3 out of 5 to win the $20 to Mr. Mike's. Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual. You sound like a casual guy there, man. It is the casualest place ever. You can find it Hampton Inn, corner of 137th Ave and Mark Messier Trail. They also got the 6 o'clock lager pouring off the taps. So if you're good to go, sir, we'll get going. I will start the ticker after Jay reads the first question. Good luck.
Thank you. Let's go.
God be with you. These might be tougher than scheduled. Who is the Oilers' top scoring defenseman?
Bouchard.
Who is the Oilers' backup goalie?
Pickard.
Who do the Elks open their season against?
The Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Is Dustin Nielson one of the voices of CFL on TSN?
Yes.
Does YouTube Trev have a beard?
No.
Hold up here, and I had a Club Eatley remix, but I deleted it here, so good job. What was the fellow's name again? I missed the name. Michael. I was caught up. What a legend Michael is. Give it up for Michael. Hit the likes on the YouTube right now.
Daddy.
Here's Marlowe. He scores! No. Patrick Marlowe, Mr. San Jose Shark, scores his 500th National Hockey League goal. Tom Brady delivers a strike to a cutter.
Low tide.
What a goal! Henrik Samuelsson.
How do you leave the most dangerous man in the world by himself in the bank with all the money? No.
Darius Bowman.
Charlotte, are you okay? I am not feeling very well.
Oh, Daddy likes.
I'm Poppy.
Now here's an opportunity. Raczynski walking in, backhander, and he scores! Daddy likes!
Peter Ryan.
I want to welcome the 35th head coach of the New York Rangers,
Peter Ryan.
A lot of cookies in there.
Strike out the side.
Every time Catherine would run the microwave, I'd piss my pants and forget who I was for a half hour or so. There's a lot of energy. Oh, thanks. Sorry, bye.
Oh, that was it. It was a shorter one there, a minute. Clubby Loop remix from the vault as I kind of got... I'm still hung up on our winner for kind of easy trivia. What a delivery. What a character there. Michael it was, yes? Congratulations to Michael. Whale and the Wolf chimes in the nasty chat. I like Michael. You remember the Be Like Mike initiative, right? Michael Jordan?
I want to be like Mike. That was Gatorade, right?
Yeah, is that what it was? Yeah.
I think it was Gatorade.
I want to be like Michael today. He's got the energy I need.
A teeth is Michael. Michael is a teeth.
Michael is a teeth. Oh, we figured
Nice
something
one,
out
Gus.
here. 3 questions too many. We'll get to this quickly here. Brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda. Check them out today, Sherwood Park, or online, parkmazda.ca. Park Mazda is your dealer for life. Mitch Lewicki running a tight ship down there. I'm sure they've got their Oilers decorations up and are ready to go for this weekend as well. So hit up Park Mazda if you're in the market for a new vehicle, new or used, or trade-ins, things like that, anything. Get down there, ask for Mitch, tell him EST sent you, and they'll get you where you need to be. 3 questions too many, boys. Once again, I'd like to give this time social media. Jason Milne, where can people find you and watch your work online?
At Jason Milne, JasonMilne.
Love it. And just Twitter, Instagram, the
Same.
whole bit, hey? Same. Okay. Question number 1, and we're going to go to soccer, so earmuffs again, people. You've been mentioning in your sports updates Canada and the Netherlands today. They'll have another friendly with France before their Copa America opener against Argentina. Freddie Papernick in the nasty chat this morning. It's nice to see you again, Fred, former Nate Ook. Ook Nation, how do you think Canada does against the Netherlands and France? These are 2 big countries, 2 huge nations when it comes to rankings. Both will have a say in the upcoming Euros. Canada, new manager in Jesse Marsh, albeit friendlies. What are you going to give me here? You're going to give me? Do they get a goal? Do they kind of? Are they 2 draws? That type of thing. I know you're not. I know this isn't like your forte, but if you were to just kind of,
I would say they'll
where's
split.
the heart? Split. So when you beaten the Netherlands, maybe drop one to France, that type of thing?
Yep.
Okay, love it.
Is Mbappe playing?
I don't know if they would probably.
That's kind of my.
It's a tune-up, but I don't know how. And if he would, it'd be sparing minutes. I would assume.
I mean, what does Freddie think? That would be the guy to ask. He
Fred,
seems like
let's go in the nasty chat if you're still in there.
On the pulse.
Get in, let us know. But we did talk soccer for you here, so you get your little ounce of flesh here. Next 3 games, Canada, Netherlands, France, Argentina. Of course, Matt Iwanek will be in Atlanta to take that game against Messi and Argentina. Should be a good one. Question number 2, in which we'll get to here. I wanted to get your opinions as well on, we'll go back to the Stanley Cup Finals, obviously, in Game 1 going down on Saturday. And YouTube Trev now with his new duties now. He will be joining us on the GCL Diesel pregame show. He'll have it for you live, Hudson's West Edmonton Mall, Bourbon Street, alongside Sean Bell and Zach. But again, just trying to keep this top of mind and top of focus here. And I know, again, 2 days away and kind of in no man's land. But expectations for Florida. I want to look at the enemy here, Jason. And, where do you how many rats do we see on the ice? Do we see anything? Do we see a set of knockers get displayed? I know that there's a female Florida fan who also gives Oilers female fan a run for her money in the flashing department. What do you see as the talk of the town from Panthers fan base coming out of Game 1? If anything, maybe.
Coming out of or going into the series, I would say that the pressure obviously is leaning more towards Panthers, and just they're the ones that I think most of the pundits are saying they're going to win. They definitely have a lot more pressure on them, just geographically where they are.
Yeah,
there's a lot more eyes on that time zone. Wisniewski said it yesterday that just because a lot of the NHL and a lot of their writers and staff are all in New York in that Eastern time zone, it's just natural that they're going to have a lot more eyes on that. So I would say that, the pressure's on them. The Oilers are underdogs. I mean, what a
there
great
will
position
be a
to be
few
in.
Orange and blue jerseys dotted into that crowd, hey? As we saw and talked earlier with Oilers fans trying to get tickets yesterday, you tell me we'll see one Panthers jersey in all of Rogers Place? Highly doubtful. Highly doubtful.
Will. Sure.
BS.
You might see...
Not a chance. No? Really? We've already said it's the longest travel. I'm sure that there's a Panther fan residing here, but I just, with the amount of want from this Oilers fan base to getting those tickets, as opposed to Florida, where it's like, hey, if you buy a burger here, you get 2 tickets right near the glass that you can pound, because they like doing that in the States. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I saw somebody mentioning that if you put together a group of like 10 people, it would be cheaper to charter a flight down there and, go there, watch the game, come back, than it would be to take all 10 people to a game here.
Fly YEG. Maybe that's something to look into here with our good partners there at the airport. But you got to think, too, and whenever, again, soccer, too, sometimes when you're drawn against a team from Spain or Portugal, and the weather's nice, you take that opportunity to just even if you don't have tickets to the game, you go down there, support the team, chill out at some beach watering hole, and have a time, right? Make some memories. Yeah, so...
But is it windy there?
I don't know. Where's windy? I don't know. Sorry, I was just getting some stuff figured out.
We're just talking about wind, not windy. Trev's working behind the scenes here. He's getting it going, getting things all set up for our next guest, Glen Suitor, who will be joining us momentarily here, following 3 questions too many, in which I will get to the third question here as well. Canadian Grand Prix going on down this weekend. Who makes your podium, Jason Milne? And you can say Lance Stroll 3 times if you want to. That's perfectly fine with me.
Lance Stroll.
3 times.
3 times.
3 times. As long as he doesn't DNF. I don't want our boy here not finishing his home race. But every second race, it does seem that Stroll is DNF. So we'll keep an eye on that. I like this one for your Villeneuve. That name rings synonymous with Canadian racing. Of course, with the time zone, this will be on during the afternoon. I like my races, as most of you know, in the mornings, that European time zone. Want to watch the race, get it all out of my system, enjoy my day. This will be going on. Of course, practice qualifying, and then the race on Sunday. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's always nice when Canada, even though it is Montreal, and maybe a lot of you don't consider that part of the nation as a whole, gets focused on this grand world stage. Formula One is your caviar of sports, and anytime it touches down within our borders, I think you take a time to kind of pop out your chest a bit, right, and feel a little proud. So, hopefully Lance Stroll finishes the race. We will see, but I don't give him much hope to podium.
And Oilers are underdogs in this series.
Yeah, no, that's the best. They're on the road. They're underdogs. All the rest. If you want, if you're feeling, as Texter earlier in the show thought, American media, who cares? I let them. That's the. You don't. I don't think this team wants to be
No, why would you want that?
No, you don't
just
need
leave it.
And they already had enough pressure internally from
19
in-house.
of 24 ESPN staff picked the Stars to win the last series.
That's okay.
Who cares?
I think it's called bulletin board material, right?
Yeah.
And even that Panthers beat writer, I don't know what the hell you're doing. And I guess it's a hot take saying that McDavid's overrated.
Right.
And I look, I have time
That's just clickbait.
I have time for those discussions. If you want to give me a weird sort of opinion, or even Trev, you hear him out. You hear people out. But I just don't know why you would say something like that prior to a series here, and now you're unlocking him to go supernova. Oh, did I not send you Glen's number yet? Sorry, I was meaning to do that, and then something else caught my attention. I'll just get you his number here momentarily. Jay, anything else cooking in the Paris Jewelers inbox right now? 702-189-9999.
You know, there's always stuff going on. I mean, Nico's dad makes a good point. You may see a Flames fan wearing a Kachuk jersey, a Florida jersey, in spite, just because the Oilers are in the finals.
That could be it too. Yeah, that's a good point.
Expensive spite move.
But to troll, you never get it's Cup Finals opportunity. I could see that's elite level trolling.
Jeff from Thunder Bay. Good morning, lads. Happy CFL opening day. Love EST, where I came for the Oilers, and I stay for the CFL coverage. Forget the haters, Lieutenant. Those Blue Jays loving closet Leaf fans can have their NFL. No need to bash another league to enjoy their passion. Vive le CLF. Long live the CFL. Wow.
Love it. Yeah, you hit a lot of notes on there that I like. That was in the inbox there, Paris Jewelers inbox. Gotta love that. Yeah, Jeff from Thunder Bay. Love it.
Predictions: Netherlands 4, Canada 1. Canada's roster has 11 MLS players. Dutch are at home. It's going to be ugly, in my opinion. That coming in from Raiders.
No,
Jesse.
The Dutch shouldn't have to click out of first gear for this game. They are at home. It's fine. I mean, this is Jesse Marsh, new manager for Canada. He is an American, which whatever. Take that how you will. I think he's probably got some interesting ideas. Hopefully, he can kind of evolve this team and get them at least a few more steps down the road than to which Herdman did in Biello in transition. But no, I mean, this is the Dutch and the French are two big powerhouses. They're probably not going to click out of first gear. Probably even rest a lot of guys. And yes, it could still be a lopsided score. But in these friendlies, I just think you don't take these too seriously. All these games are tune-ups for the Copa America, and when you're tuning up against the best, right, it's like football too, or even the Oilers, special teams. When your PK is going against a great power play in practice, or your defense is up against a strong offense, just makes you better. So I think the Dutch and the French in these two friendlies is a good tune-up, and they'll really know where they are following these two games, but don't read too much in the results.
Well, in breaking news, down 13 points, the South Cotabato Warriors have come back to win 82-81.
Wow.
Against the Binan Tatak Chell.
And this was back and forth.
This was back
up
and
and
forth.
down like a toilet seat.
I mean, I took them at a 15.5-point spread. I don't know, Spency, what you did, but if somebody took money line there, that would have been huge because they were down 14 points.
This is a General Santos city, as we found out. Our next guest, sticking with the Canadian Football League theme, as again a bit of no man's land prior to Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals Saturday, Oilers and Panthers. We didn't get Dave Naylor's prediction. We let him go. That rascal. He got out of here with making a prediction. We will not let our next guest get away without one. And in fact, we may even just start off with his Stanley Cup Finals predictions as we welcome in from as well the CFL and TSN colorman to Dustin Nielson on the broadcasts and former Saskatchewan Roughrider defensive back and holder of the 89 Grey Cup winning kick. Glen Suitor joins us back on the Nielson Show. Glenn, you're with Lieutenant Eric Jason Milne. How you doing today, man? Where are you at and what's going on in your life?
Gentlemen, how's it going? I'm in Winnipeg, starting a quick run. I'm out of a cannon here to start the CFL season, doing 3 games in 3 nights. So it'll be here in Winnipeg for the Grey Cup rematch, the Bombers versus the Alouettes, and then to Calgary for Hamilton and the Stamps, and then into Edmonton for that Rider game. And apparently there's a couple of really important hockey games going on, so they're going to move that kickoff up. I guess you guys have already talked about that, but go Oilers, come on.
Okay, yeah. Well, then let's just get into this, Glenn. You're picking the Oilers. How many games is this puppy going to last?
I'm going to say 6. I love their depth. I love how the best player in the world is playing. I'm not a hockey analyst, but I've watched a ton. I lost a ton of money on the Vancouver series, so I owe a whole bunch of dinners there. And the only reason I bet on Vancouver was because I'm not really a Canucks fan, but I bet on them because I live there. But And all my buddies are Oilers fans, so they were going nuts. And I lost a ton there, so now I'm on the wagon. I am jumping on for the Canadian team. I think they'll do it in 6. Goaltending is there, playing with great confidence. I love their depth. And they can play both styles. They can play a fast, wide-open game, and they can play a physical game too. And, Cuthbert's been awesome. My former partner has been awesome. And really good friend, Chris Cuthbert, has been doing a great job calling the Stanley Cup Finals.
Really good friend? Or, where are we putting him here on your power rankings of friendship right now? I was going to ask about you owing dinners as well, Glenn. Has Dustin, I know it's early in the season, you haven't called the game together yet, but has he prefaced or questioned you about any sort of return meal at his house, Casa del Nielsen, and inviting you over for a bit of a surf and turf meal this season? Has that popped up as of yet?
Well, the season was approaching, and I was thinking like a month out, I'd just hang out by the phone. Like I'd keep my phone right with me just in case I get that call from Dustin. And I'm still looking. I actually put an alert on my phone that if Dustin calls me with that invite, the alert will go off. So there's no way I could miss that call. And yet, and so far, not any alerts or any phone calls, but. What's weird about this is it seems to me that Dustin forgets his wallet when we show up at restaurants.
Okay.
And we walk in and it's right about, I don't know, after the, first cocktail where he will say, oh, I'll get it next time. I promise. You know that one?
Suits, I've had that happen. We've all been Dustin.
We can hear it in our minds right now.
We've all been Nielsen. It happens. So what you're saying is that, because he claims you guys are best friends.
He talks. He talks.
Walks on beaches out in Vancouver. The list goes on and on. Surf and turf dinners. So you're backing up this claim by one Dustin Nielsen. Is that correct?
Well, let's put it this way. Friendships are a complicated deal. You have to really work at them. And, sometimes it's more one-sided than the other. And you really have to try and generate that and make it happen. And, I could say on the record that, I'm really working hard at doing that. But, there's trust and you have to have that and the loyalty of it all. So let's just say it's a work in progress. I still go back to the great song that he sung as a rookie in the keg in Calgary, and he just bursted out with Friends in Low Places with Garth Brooks, got the whole bar singing along. So because of that, I'm giving him a whole lot of rope. You know what I mean? Like I gotta hang in there and we'll make this happen. We're going to make this friendship work.
We continue to look forward to this blossoming friendship as the season will unfold. And it begins tonight, Glenn. You mentioned you got 3 out of the 4 this week. So let's just set him up and knock him down here. It is a Grey Cup rematch. A little odd that the loser hosts the winner tonight in the Blue Bombers at home to the Alouettes. But how do you stack this one up? Is it a true rematch? These teams were kind of getting more of the same as we saw in last year's final game, or is this kind of a dawning of a new day? I know the Alouettes, maybe some new personnel on offense. Bombers got to be having, again, revenge on their minds again. But your thoughts on tonight's season opener?
Yeah, they certainly do. And I know that the Alouettes are using the fact that they're on the road as a little bit of extra motivation.
Yeah.
They feel the same way you do. Like, wait, we're champions. Why aren't we hosting in the rematch? So they have a little bit of chip on their shoulder for that. I think Cody Fajardo being back in the same system with the same head coach for a second year in a row has put them way ahead as far as the install of the offense and things like that. They did lose Austin Mack. That's a big one, but they feel pretty good with their receiving core. I think it is a true, it's going to be like a true rematch. Both starting quarterbacks, same guys, both want to go at it. And, Winnipeg at home are going to be close to a sellout here, and they're going to want to say, hey, we were the better team. That last second touchdown was the only reason. Yeah.
Now, Suits, bringing it back to Edmonton here for the home opener that you will be at as well with your best friend, Dustin Nielsen. There is a ton of pressure on the Elks this season going into it. Chris Jones is entering his 3rd year. McLeod Bethel-Thompson coming in, taking over the quarterback position. The Elks are currently set at 6.5 wins. I know what side of the number I'm on. I want to know from you what side of the number you think. Do you think they're going to be over 6.5 wins or under?
Well, I really sort of shy away from actual predictions in our league. I don't mind making them in the NHL, but on our league, as soon as I make a prediction, it shuts the door on me when I go to talk to players. If I don't pick their team, they're like, oh, you're cheering for that team. No, I wasn't cheering. I just made a prediction. Anyway, it's a long story. But no, you know what? I like that in Edmonton that the quarterback room has been stabilized. I mean, Taylor Cornelius and that run at the beginning of last year, and Trey Ford coming in and winning some games and really putting on a pretty dynamic show was, I think, saved some jobs probably in Edmonton. But of all the teams in the league, guys, they have to get off to a good start. They have to win some games early, or there's going to be all kinds of self-doubt about coaching staff, management, all of it. So, I think the pressure, if there's pressure on any team, it's the Edmonton Elks. I like their quarterback room now. McLeod Bethel-Thompson will definitely help. Completely different style, as you know, from Trey Ford. And we're going to see Trey Ford on the field, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, how can you keep a guy that dynamic off the field? You got to get him out there somehow.
I agree with you. I think there's got to be a package where you can showcase his speed and ability to get outside the pocket and really tilt that defense. Another question for you is the Guardian caps. I mean, you've seen them across training camps. You've seen them throughout practices. I mean, I grew up watching you. I adored you as a safety. I played safety when I played. I was taught to hit with my head. That's how you were taught. That's how you got shake and bake across the middle. That was your bread and butter, and thankfully I was able to turn that into my play as well. This is now the way football is going, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think had a guy like you or me had the option to wear this in practice or to take it easier, we probably would have taken that at that point. But the change has just happened so fast. And now you're having these Guardian caps, which are now mandated during practice sessions, and it is an option for players to wear during games. Do you see? I mean, we were at the Elks fan day, and we asked a few players if anybody on the team or in the locker room figures they're going to be wearing those, and it was an emphatic no. So, what are your thoughts on the Guardian caps? What have you thought? What have you heard about that new head protection?
Well, it's supposed to sort of alleviate the concern of concussions by about 20%. And if it takes one concussion away from one player, I think it's worthwhile. I think it's when we're looking and discussing, player safety, does it take away from the athleticism or the physicality? I don't think it will. I think, in fact, if they do start wearing them in games, you might even see the physicality turn up a notch because they feel more protected. But it's going to be one of those deals where none of the players want to be the first ones. Remember back when it was visors in hockey, and if you remember back you guys weren't born then. What am I saying? But you go back that far, there was a real pushback from the players. They loved the idea of the protection, but it was like, this is weird. This is going to affect my vision. It might affect my speed. It might affect my reaction time. All of those things were in the minds of the players. But slowly it happened. Few guys wore it. Few more guys wore it. And then the league had the ability to sort of mandate it and grandfather some of the people that were still being sort of on the fence or didn't like it. They said, okay, if you want to keep going, then you can until your career's over. But at that point, everyone beyond that is going to have to wear it. So I see the same sort of thing happening with this. It might be a little weird to look at it first, but I don't think it'll change what we love about football, which is the physicality, the ultimate team sport, and the great athleticism that we see from receivers and running backs and things like that. So I don't think it would detract from that at all.
8:29, it's the Nielson Show, Edmonton Sports Talk. Lieutenant Eric Jason Milne, joined by Glen Suitor of CFL on TSN. Glenn, just a couple more minutes. I was going to say, must have been a shock for you, too, being a player and going from the leather caps to the modern-day helmets. I mean, we're getting on the age thing here. I jest. Glenn, just quickly, again, the final two. Out west here, the return of the bow, finally. We didn't get Bo Levi Mitchell playing the Stamps from Calgary last year. What do you expect this reception to be? Probably a pretty friendly one, I would assume. I mean, he gave a lot of success to the team in the city. Not a lot of bad blood, I guess, on his exit. It was just time. But your thoughts on Bo returning to Calgary as a member of the Ticats, two teams kind of middling in their own divisions. And then your thoughts as well, Lions in Toronto looking for a win there for the first time since 2019.
Well, I'll give you one quick story on my best buddy, or the attempt to make my best buddy Dustin, and I'll give you the prediction on the Calgary with Bo going back, because that is a big storyline, and Bo going back is a biggie because, you know, he two-time MOP, two-time Grey Cup MVP for that team. I think the crowd will give him a huge round of applause. There's going to be a sort of a tribute that happens after the first commercial break on the big screen in Calgary. So they're going to do it right. And, he's real excited about going back. Jake Mayer, though, Jake Mayer took over for Bo. And he's a starting quarterback in Calgary now. And, I talked to him yesterday. He said, hey, we competed at everything. We competed at golf when we were in the same room together. And so now they're just going after each other. I think it's going to be a good football game, and Bo get a good reception. Now, the Dustin Nielson, just before we go, so he was at my house for another barbecue because I always invite him over. And we always bring out the guitar at these things and we start having the big sing along. And, Dustin was chatting and talking and listening. And after every song, I would turn to Dustin and I'd say, hey, Dustin, what did you think? That was a Garth Brooks song. What do you think about that one? He goes, yeah, okay. And I said, is it good enough to play on your show? And I get the emphatic, no, not yet. No. So we play another one, and you go, yeah, no, not making the show yet. And we play another. So I got a lot of work to do, guys. I just love the guy, but I'm really working on this relationship. It's really one-sided right now.
Suits, I think we just go backdoor on Dusty here, and you send that right over to Eric. Eric at EdmontonSportsDoc.com. We'll get that on the air for you.
Cut out the middleman here.
I know it's just going to be a big deal for you to get that out in the air and get that out in the open, and let the people really hear who you are.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get the sing-along going, gentlemen. I appreciate you having me on.
Thanks for your time, Glenn. Have a good call this weekend, and we'll chat soon.
Okay, thanks, guys. Take care.
Glen Suitor, CFL and TSN, we appreciate his time, obviously on the eve of a very busy season for him and a busy day and weekend ahead. And we appreciate as well the Dustin Nielson stories, to which Dusty would never tell us because, as you said, it's two sides to this coin, and it's nice that we can see the other side.
Kind of sandbagging Suitsy there.
Look, we get, and we have, and actually, this is the time I might do this now for the fan zone. We're going to get into this. I know, Trev, you had actually, we'll get into. There are pieces moving here, and this is fun. This is the best part about doing this stuff. We did have a listener submitted song that Dustin emailed me and texted me this morning and said, "Hey, guy left this in the inbox. Maybe you want to give it a run." It's called "City of Champions." Okay, so we have this sitting here. We're sitting at 247 likes. I mean, that's decent. Again, as I said, no man's land prior to game one on Saturday. And Suits is Dusty is sending me songs that listeners are making, just boom, boom, like that.
Wow.
And here his dear friend is having him over, surf and turf and all this, and trying his hardest to get songs, and it's a no. That hurts.
That's
Suits,
not what
Suits has beef. I mean, he's hitting all the segments with that, but
doesn't sound like best friends to me.
Doesn't sound like it. So Glenn, again, get the music to us. We'll get it out here. But also on that theme, another listener submitted tune, "City of Champions." Let's get to 300. I mean, at least if you want to crack this one, I think 300 is certainly attainable through the last half hour of the program here. And we'll get to that. And we'll kind of leave the last half hour for the fan zone. We'll play City of Champions if we get to 300 and get to your texts and messages, both in the Paris Drewlers inbox and the Nasty Chat as well. Sports update. Then Trev has an announcement. We'll come back. We'll reset, do all that fun stuff. But Big Mama's and Papa's Pizzeria sports update from J Milne.
The CFL season kicks off tonight with a tilt between the Blue Bombers and Alouettes from Winnipeg. Kickoff is at 6:30 on TSN. The NBA Finals tip off tonight in Boston as the Celtics will take on the Mavericks. Dallas head coach Jason Kidd stated that Luka Doncic has the chance to become the greatest Maverick ever if he wins a championship this season. Tip goes at 6:30. And calling all fans, join us this Saturday as the Edmonton Elks charge into their historic 75th season against the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the home opener. Witness history in the making at Commonwealth Stadium. Be there to roar with the herd. Tickets available now at goelks.com or on Ticketmaster. In the West Coast League, the Edmonton Riverhawks defeat the Ridgefield Raptors by a score of 10-4 and are now sitting at 3-3 on the season. And the Blue Jays squeak one out against the Orioles as they drive in the game-winning run in the bottom of the ninth. The third and final game of the set goes this morning in Toronto. And the Canadians men's national team takes on the Netherlands today from Rotterdam. The international friendly kicks off at 12:45 local time. This sports update has been brought to you by Big Mama's and Papa's Pizzeria. BMPP is a real pizzeria restaurant, not just a delivery pizza chain. Serving authentic Italian cuisine with their made-in-house pizza dough, traditional tomato sauce, and fresh toppings. Each pizza is cooked to perfection. A pizza experience you've been waiting for. Visit them at 12848 97th Street. Order today, www.bmpp.ca, or call 587-746-0551.
He's just a forward named Matt who plays for the Flames. A punk or a coward, a few of his names. He likes shooting and scoring and hits in the back. And when you're not looking, that's when he'll attack. He runs with his gloves, they're glued on his hands. Now it's pretty clear he's hated by fans. But sometimes that just ain't enough to keep a rat like him interested. Oh no, no way. No, he's got to go out and take runs at someone else's expense. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. He makes 30 hits we don't want in the game, then covers up his head and hides in shame. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. Yo, he's a turtle. Yo, yo. He's a turtle. For your back and then leaves his feet while George and the league are saying, hey, that's sure neat. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. Yo, yo. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. He ducks and he runs to much safer spaces while players with a sack are getting punched in their faces. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. He's a turtle. Yo, yo. He's a turtle.
8:37 on the Nielson Show, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, the iHeart and TuneIn radio apps, and as well on YouTube. Lieutenant Eric, Jason Milne in for Dustin Nielsen, and YouTube Trev keeping it locked down behind the monitors this morning. Do want to let you know right now the 2024 Hlinka Gretzky Cup is coming to Edmonton this summer. Rogers Place will host the best U18 hockey players in the world from August 5th to the 10th. 7-game and 14-game ticket packs are now available. HlinkaGretzkyCup.ca or Ticketmaster.ca. And keep listening to EST for a chance to win as well.
Joe, I'm glad to hear you got your trillion. Take care of that knotweed.
That was good.
That's nice. And Jasmine chimed in the Paris Jewelers inbox. We've got a problem.
We have a big problem. You saw my reply. Ooh, brother.
I did.
Ooh, you
I
know
did.
that
T-Roy in the house.
T-Roy's
bringing some A&Ws.
Man, we have pallets of A&W.
And I saw this earlier on the Nasty Chat, but it would appear that Drake has made a wager on the Oilers.
You don't want to see that, man. That is just that you keep the colors, the logo, and everything away from him. You just don't want it to toxic. But
oh yeah, and Spency 5 Centsy, we hammered that against the General Santos Warriors plus 13.5.
Spency 5 Centsy is riding with you. I love it. I love the home for Philippines.
I'm gonna have another one tomorrow.
Yeah,
we're gonna go back to the Indonesian League.
Yeah,
some tennis.
We did have Trev wanted to get something through the airwaves here.
This is pretty sweet. I think it was announced in February when there was the Amazon Prime. It was coming out with a docu-series that was produced by the people that produced Drive to Survive, Breakpoint, Full Swing.
There we go.
Well, the teaser trailer just kind of, it broke this morning, the second hour, so I watched it, and it looks really cool. And how cool is this? They've been filming it since the beginning of the season, and just looking at it right now, prominently features Edmonton Oilers captain Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, which is really cool. But it also Matthew Tkachuk. So how cool is that? Those three are all in the Stanley Cup final. So that's going to be very intriguing. It's going to be really cool. But it doesn't just focus on those three players. You also have the captain, Jacob Trouba of the New York Rangers, Boston Bruins teammates, David Pasternak, Jeremy Swayman, Vancouver Canucks captain Quinn Hughes, Vegas Golden Knights center Jack Eichel, Maple Leafs forward William Nylander, Predators forward Philip Forsberg, and Colorado Avalanche captain Gabriel Landeskog. So,
the Landeskog episode should be very riveting.
Yeah. Well, I've been just watching the team for the last 18 months.
Grocery shopping and that type of thing.
Yeah, but the footage that they were playing was they were showing a lot of this year's playoffs as early as Jacob Trouba's huge hit that he missed on. So it was kind of interesting seeing that in the trailer. But the part I was also intrigued on is William Nylander. He missed the first few games due to a headache, and they were showing in this trailer. You can go to it. It's on Instagram. You just check out the NHL page. They show William Nylander, and he's like, I want to be out there. I want to be out there. It's like, isn't he dealing with a headache, and he's got all these cameras in his face, and he's like, just talking about. So, I don't know. That's kind of interesting that we'll see how that plays out. But it looks really good. It does look really good, so I'm looking forward to that.
In the internet age, we like to carve things up before they're even on the table. I mean, that's just what human nature is. And when this was announced, we were like, how is the NHL going to drop the ball on this one? But I think you'd have to be pretty dumb and dim not to realize the storylines in front of you this season, specifically the one in which happened in this city. I mean, the season started off, cup or bust, all this. Then they go in the toilet and a coaching change. You cannot throw out that footage right then and there. And I know we had nasty chat, inbox and everything. Throw a bet on them now to win. Why not? And you could have thrown out all the tape at that point and said, screw it, they're done. That was the beginning of a good story that might culminate in the ending and raising the cup. So, I mean, you can't script this stuff. I know they can't script any better. That's the old cliche. But what a season to pick. What a season to follow the most electric player in the league. And probably the most electric season he's had with this team. Easily, no doubt at this point. So the storylines with whatever they go on to win the cup final, lose, I mean, that's a possibility. But certainly they struck gold with that storyline. At least that one, not to mention all the other ones that you.
Yeah, and also I wouldn't be surprised if they have a few players that they haven't released yet, because also they were showing a lot of footage of Austin Matthews, but they didn't have any interview footage. So I feel like he might be another player, which is fair. He's very marketable. So it looks like, from all things telling, I mean, it was a brief 1-minute teaser, but it looked pretty good.
Drake equals biggest bandwagoner. That comes in from Jenna Tills. Keep it to yourself, Drake, also from Jenna Tills this morning. I'd have to agree. I don't think, the Oilers, do you need Drake at this point? You don't.
He's just a bit of a mush.
These are all hangers on. The chopper's taking off. You're 20 feet in the air, and then you see Drake hanging onto the thing. You're like, get out of here, you. But whatever. You welcome him aboard. Ticket, please, and all aboard the old the choo-choo train here. 780-218-9999. If you want to swoop in for text of the day, $20 to A&W, to which, as I mentioned, people keep bringing in bags of A&W this morning. It's going to be a hangout and a half here, as I think the boys will be...
this is ramping up to be a good one.
Yep. Joaquin Gage, Lucas from Whale and the Wolf, Matt Iwanek, they'll all be here. Troy's even, the Godfather's in here for just to cheer everybody on.
Yeah, you're not the only Godfather here now, Troy.
Oh, we're going to have a Godfather off, I guess.
Godfather off. He's the only Godfather drinking a beer.
Speechless, though, yeah. Well, you'll meet him here soon, I'm sure. That'll happen. The Fan Zone, again, brought to you by, as we'll dive into your texts and messages in the nasty chat and in the Paris Jewelers inbox, but the Fan Zone, as mentioned earlier, and if you were left out in the cold for Oilers tickets games 3 and 4, never fear. Fan Zone is here. It's brought to you by Fans First, by fans, for fans, no fees. Get your tickets for Oilers Cup Run, www.fansfirst.ca. No guarantees, but getting in there, no fees, and that might be a way for you to get inside Rogers Place for one of either Game 3, 4, or perhaps both. Didn't see anybody, though, say that they got tickets the honest, original way through the website yet. If you did finally get in or secured a ticket somehow, we'd love to know. nasty chat or Paris Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999. This text unsigned, the Drake curse is real. Yeah, it is real. I mean, it's, again, we like to sit here in the in our landscape and say there's nothing we can do to affect the outcome, right? Injuries and otherwise. But I think when it comes to Drake, yeah, that is real. We've seen it over and over and over and over again. Trev, you don't want any part of that. I know this is kind of your age music.
No, I'm not a fan of it. Personally, like, I don't mind his music, and a lot of people probably not like
That's
that
okay,
take. I don't mind his music. But as far as, like, the whole Raptors in 2018, just the whole, I hated everything about it. He was just on the court, like he was one of the players, and it kind of just, it really grinds my gears, if you will. So I got beef with that as well. And he's got, like, a terrible record. I think that was the only year he bet on the Raptors to win, and they did win. But, like, besides that, any fights, any big thing, the Super Bowl,
he shows
like,
up anywhere in the world wearing something, and you're like, we're
lost,
it.
Like,
done.
it's nation, it's worldwide. Like, the curse is known, and so I was kind of hoping that he would have, bet on the Panthers. But so here's hoping the Oilers can break that curse, maybe.
Well, Petter's Pancake asks, what were the odds of the Oilers in mid-November? And I can tell you that I put a bet on the Oilers about mid-December to win the Stanley Cup.
Still kind of around. I mean, they weren't out of it yet, but they were.
Yeah, and it was plus 1,500.
So at that time, coming out of it, not
They
even.
were already out of it.
He's talking about the dark. Oh,
he was talking the depths of it. So I don't know. It probably was double, maybe triple that. But still, plus 1,500 looks pretty good right now.
Still good. But there were a lot of people at that time. Like, if anybody's going to pull it off, right? Anybody at any moment of their career, especially with the cup or bust stuff. And now, and I mean, to echo Matthew Iwanek as well, he said, once these guys get to the final, and I think I heard Will Fraser as well discussing about, you can toss your systems, all that stuff in the trash. This is now a will and a drive type of thing. And for these guys to come this close and this tight in, they can't be denied, right?
You'd like to think that
there is another team. I get it.
There is another team playing that's very good at hockey.
Yeah.
So but I think that the Iwanek thought process here is that the will take over of just these two finally getting to this spot that they've never been, and I mean that's still a homer take. I mean.
No, and that's fair. But we said, too, we focus more on this team than the Panthers, but I think the Panthers, too, with them being denied at the doorstep. You want to talk about will. And I think this Final Four, too, each team had a bit of its own little storyline that they could lean on or use. But I think the two most powerful ones we see now in the final, with Florida being denied, right, looking to get over that hump, and the McDavid and Draisaitl window. I don't think the Rangers not winning it in 30 year, okay, well, whatever. It'd be nice to win it on an anniversary or something. You're 30 years without a cup, but... And then Dallas, I mean, Mavericks in the final, too. Like, it's just kind of you get lost in the shuffle maybe there locally with so many teams being successful. But I think these are the two best storylines, really, when it comes down to it. That's what a league wants. You want stars trying to get something they haven't gotten or been before, and then a team that's been kept being denied. Something's got to give.
Something's going to give, 100%. And, yeah, this is another one that's coming in. Good news is that Dave Portnoy has money on the Oilers. And that guy is on fire.
One bet, everybody knows the rules, right?
Dave Portnoy, founder and owner of Barstool Sports, bet on UConn to win the men's national basketball championship. Nailed it. Bet on Scotty Scheffler to win the Masters. Nailed it.
I think he even had the Generals this morning, if I do believe.
I think he did have
followed you to the
Indonesian League. And he's also got the Celtics to win the NBA Finals, which is looking like a pretty strong bet.
Probably, but...
And he put... So I looked it up. I was talking... actually, I was talking with my wife about it. He put $250,000 on the Oilers to win the Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And
this was just prior to the series here, or like you're looking back?
Start of the playoffs.
Okay.
Like first round.
Okay.
And he... I think he would win like $1.2 million if that came through.
I mean... An amount of change that Mr. Portnoy probably finds in his many sofas around his many properties and houses, but
he's looking pretty flush lately with all these bets that he's been banging on. So
yeah, that's
he's been hitting it pretty well.
Christmas is coming, right? And he should be
But yeah, I
fully
see a lot.
prepared.
I see a lot in the inbox or on the nasty chat about November 27th. People got Oilers at 2,000 plus 2,000. I see 9-1 from the start of the season.
T-Mac the rugby guy. Yeah.
T-Mac the rugby guy. Like I said, I had him at plus 1,500.
Well, I just want to Kelvin into the nasty chat. McDavid
Van Dazzelaar.
Yeah, will have the cup at his wedding. This is another storyline thing that you just got to look at.
You got to run with it.
Like, is he going to have a wedding this summer with like cupless? Like, you think he's going to show up there and then not have that, and then have to, like that's going to hang over you like a wet blanket throughout the summer. If you don't get that over the line, I'm sure they've already planned for it being in a certain spot. Like Lauren, I'm sure the planning has gotten on, and you're expecting the cup to be in these certain spots. If it's not there, Connor, you kind of.
I wonder if the three people from the video that were harassing Connor when he was putting the Coors Light into his car, I wonder if they're going to get an invite.
The fans? I
They
hope
seem
they
like
do.
they're
I hope
pretty
they do.
close
Well,
friends.
they love him. They love him. So
Clearly they love him.
I would invite. It's guys. It's all good. Drake bet the Raps and they won the championship. Comes in from Jasmine. I know, Jasmine. You're grasping at a single straw here, and we appreciate you for that. But I don't think anybody's going to buy what you're selling here with that one moment.
Jasmine, we should have interviewed you today so we can get your take on the NBA Finals. I personally don't. I don't see a way the Celtics lose. I think that the Mavericks can make it.
Doncic and Kyrie will drag him in, hey, and keep him in it.
I just don't see how the Celtics can lose. I think there's just too much depth. I think it's going to come down to depth.
Jimbo here wants a bit of a rap war going on. Edmonton's own Cadence Weapon, former poet laureate, I do believe, of Edmonton, re-releasing an updated version of his banger Connor McDavid on all streaming platforms. That goes Friday at midnight. Thanks for the update, Jimbo. And he also finishes that with Drake is a joke, LOL. Yeah, I mean, this bleeds into my not hatred, but my disdain for the Blue Jay bros. Every start of an email, you got to cheer for Toronto. What are you not Canadian? And it's the same with Drake. Like, we don't care about Toronto in certain avenues. Yet on other avenues, it's, you got to drink the Kool-Aid or else you're not. No, get out of here with that. You can keep your rappers, you can keep your crappy ball teams and your sabermetrics and everything like that. Get it out of here. I don't need it. We got the Riverhawks. We got Cadence Weapon. We'll be just fine out here. We're doing okay. 780-218-9999. We are sitting at 281. I said 300 and we'll get the City of Champions song. Listener submitted. 281, we can do much better than that. Maybe we just don't leave until we hit the 300 and then just don't even play the song for you. No, I jest. We got the song right here. 300 likes. Let's go. Head on to the YouTube. If you have been listening through the morning, we thank you for that and your listenership. But log in if you can to the YouTube. Give a like. Hit the sub. Let's get that puppy touching 300 or over. And we'll get to this new City of Champions song, which I'm kind of curious about. City of Champions has nothing to do with hockey, but I wonder where this goes, whether it's a rap. Maybe it is a rap, as we're talking about Drake and Cadence Weapon. Wouldn't that be something? Just a banger of a hip-hop anthem here, but maybe it's a polka. Who knows?
Can you say who it's from? Or is that confidential?
I do have, where is it here? I will give the person some credit. Good idea there, Jay. I just want to give credit where credit's due here for this. It'll be from a listener. I do believe Jason. Where is it here? Here it is. Jason. Yeah, Jason Bendera. So the name looks familiar. Jason with a Y. If you know, you know. But Jason, we're trying our best to get this thing on the air for you. Need a little help from the Nasties right now. Nasty chat on YouTube. Let's go. Hit the likes, hit the subs.
Well,
Let's get this puppy to 300. 8 away? Well, come on.
In lieu, have we qualified for the comedy festival?
Bang on. And this is the amount of time. 8 minutes till 9 o'clock. And we'll do that right now. It's the Great Outdoors Comedy Fest. Text in the word Trev right now to 780-218-9999 as he's basically given you this qualification if you are the lucky one. But we thank Trev for keeping us on the rails here. 780-218-9999. Text in Trev, T-R-E-V, to the Paris Jewelers inbox. And you could be the next qualifier into the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival. We've got a VIP table for that, and we'll let you know about that as well. So text in Trev, 780-218-9999, and you could be in as the next qualifier for the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival. Are we changing 300 as of yet, boys? I'm not hearing anybody yell changing 300. We are at 305, changing 300. Here you go from Jason Bendera, the City of Champions song. First run here. Nielson Show, Edmonton Sports Talk. My bad. Bear with me here. I know that was a big old introduction here. I had it on mute. Just wanted to make sure nothing else was coming across the airwaves. Here we go. City of Champions, Jason Bendera.
drop the puck. Let's go, Oilers, let's go. Let's go, Oilers, go. I hear the Oilers coming, boarding on the plane, off to the United States to play Canada's favorite game. A chance to win the glory, a chance to win the cup. Let's go, Oilers, let's go. Let's go, let's go. Bring it back to our world-stained city, the city of champions. Since I was just a baby, grew up an Oilers fan. Remember Gretzky in the 80s, seeing 4 rings on just one hand, chasing through the 90s and into the millennium. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Watch us shooting past kids in Florida. I said, put those Panthers down. Let's go, let's go, let's go. First Kings, Canucks, and the Dallas Stars, all who tried but failed. We got Skinner rock solid between the pipes and McDavid, our holy grail. Ekholm on the back end, and don't forget the Bouchard ball. Sweeping rats off the ice in Edmonton and bring us Lord Stanley Cup. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I hear the Oilers coming, boarding on a plane, off to the U.S. of A to play Canada's favorite game. Chance to win the glory, a chance to win the cup. Let's go, let's go. Bring it back to our state city, the city of champions. Let's go. Bring it back to our state city, the city of champions. Let's go, let's go.
Boys, I think we got a banger on our hands here. That's got a little. I think we were talking Chris Isaac. The other, was it you and me, Gage?
No,
No,
it
not
was
you.
not me.
I was talking, must have been Gage. A little Chris, a little Prairie Oyster theme there. A little twangy, upbeat, which I like. Keeps the blood pumping, right? The atmosphere and everything.
Yeah, maybe a little country vibe to it. You know, you
Yeah.
could maybe.
But
get
a
away
little
with
like
that.
a little rockabilly, you know.
Yeah, I
dropping the
didn't mind
names, lyrics. The writing was spectacular. The production was good. Trev, your thoughts? Yeah, that's
It was good. I like that
You
one.
went.
It got me going. Yeah, that was the box pounder that slapped.
Yeah,
I'd have to agree.
It did have the Folsom Prison Blues vibes, like
Yeah, for
Amish
sure.
Man says, right?
I thought that's where it was.
Yeah.
Kind of going. And then it was in and out. But it's not a jaunty
original-ish.
piece. Yeah,
I
we
liked
thank Jason Bandera, Jason with a Y, for sending that one in. Real hot. That's gonna rocket up the charts.
Makes me hungry for some Bandera pizza bread.
Is that what we're all thinking here?
Yeah, we are.
It's on the mind,
It's
Jason.
good.
I'm sure you know that one. But
It's good.
yeah, Spency 5 cents. He's feeling the Chris Isaac. Yeah, it's a little rocket. You want to kind of grease your hair up. Maybe throw some oil, through oil up our hair and
Brill cream.
Brill cream, yeah, that type of thing. Good response there on the nasty chat. So nasties, you brought it. You did the likes. You hit the likes. We thank you for that. And you released the City of Champions song from Jason Bandera. 8:57. We'll get into the rap real quickly for William Huff. You want your place to look as good as ours? Of course you do. And they are wrapping the city with Oilers-themed gear, flags, banners, the whole bit. Check them out, WilliamHuff.com. In business since 72, so you know they're incredible at what they do. I learned on the show today that Dusty forgets his wallet conveniently enough when he's out with the CFL boys from TSN, as Glen Suitor told us. Maybe not news to you. I mean, we kind of
No, I have firsthand experience at the
You've
Super
gone
Bowl,
out to
at the Super Bowl party.
and business meetings along the way, I'm sure. It's, hey, Jay,
yeah.
can you spot me one here or there?
Hey, Marshall stole my wallet this morning. Yeah,
Marshall
Dustin,
stole
how many
my wallet.
times?
Yeah.
How many times is his son of yours going to steal your wallet?
We also learned Trev's opinion on the wind. So that was not without controversy. Hey, Trev.
Yeah, I'm just kind of cooling down now.
Brad from
that was fun.
Crossfield said, "Is this song windy or just wind?"
I'd say it was just wind. I will Yeah, we'll get into it on another time. I'm sure Maddie.
Oh,
and
it's
I
one of
will
those things, man. It'll follow
get
you
into a
through. It's
debate.
great now. You'll
I
be.
sent a few like pretty thought out texts to a few listeners.
Yeah.
And they have yet to respond, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, I mean, it's I stand by it. It's
Yes, you should.
True.
No, it's. I mean, we'll.
I'm right.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
Exactly. And if you want to listen to Trev be right again, he'll have the GCL Diesel pregame show Saturday.
4:30. Can't
4:30.
wait.
He'll be live West Edmonton, Bourbon Street, Hudson's, alongside Sean Bell. Zach will be pushing the levers and pressing the buttons. So we look forward to that. And that's pretty much going to do it. I think it's a pretty packed hangout. The bullpen is ruckus right now. There's A&W everywhere. Coffees galore. Matthew Iwanek, Joaquin Gage, Lucas from Whale and the Wolf, my brother, blood brother, as it were, officially related. They'll all be in the hangout this morning. Obviously talking Stanley Cup with a CFL flair as well.
We just want to get your opinion on the wind situation. Yeah, because it's nice and cool.
He
in
likes
there.
having the draft. Yeah.
Is it windy, or like has it been windy, or is it just wind? It's windy.
Matt says it's windy.
That's not a gust. Gusting's like 80, 100 kilometers an hour, 70 plus.
We need a camera on Matt right now.
Perfect.
Oh.
We'll get his. Yeah, that'll
we'll
be
get
great.
the definitive answer from Mr. Josh Clausen.
Yep.
Maybe he can wear Joaquin's judging gear, hey?
I can't wait. Like anything over
Matt's in a hands crossed
70,
stature.
70 kilometers an hour.
Don't look at us.
That's gusting.
Hey, to be continued at the Elks dinner tonight, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's where you
You're
guys
wrong,
will be.
Matty.
That's where Dustin Nielson will be as well, emceeing the event tonight. He'll be
Yeah.
on the mic, doing the headset mic like Britney Spears, he said. He's quite excited about that.
I think, he's got the little wireless white
Rising
mic.
from above
Yeah.
or below the
Jumping
stage.
out of the stage.
Yeah. Kind of doing a lot of Tony Robbins stuff, eh? Like really that type of thing.
Oh, the wrench.
The wrench is here. Tommy the wrench. He's in the house. We will break now. It's 9 o'clock. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Hangout coming up next. As mentioned, Matt Iwanek, Tom Gazzola, packed house in there for YouTube Trev behind the monitors, and Jason Milne in for Dustin Nielsen. Again, I'm Lieutenant Eric. Have a good day. We will talk tomorrow.